Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of 13 Cards, Subject to Change. Leroy's here, Jesse's here, I'm here. The wrestling world has either exploded or imploded. I do not know. But we're
something like that.
We got a lot to talk about today,
yes.
and an interview that I am so excited for, ladies and gentlemen. We have, at some point during the show, Leroy will get a call. Mr. Austin Arrow is not only back in the wrestling business, he's back to talk to us.
Yes.
I am super excited to talk to this man. Love this man to death.
And if anybody is not sure about him, check out our YouTube page.
Yes.
That is our second interview we had that day. First we had with Darren, and then we had with Austin.
Well, Austin was actually early in the day because we went Dave quick, hashed out a couple minutes.
I thought we got Darren first.
No.
Oh, we had,
No. Because remember, Darren was a little late getting to the show.
That whole day was a craziness.
yeah.
So, all right. It was
Anyway,
a crazy good day. So, yes.
Austin's coming up.
Definitely
We
check
got
that
a lot
out.
to talk about. Right off the top, Triple H is reportedly okay after having a little bit of a cardiac scare.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, look, we all know Triple H has done some supplements back in his day. Probably nothing overly, I would say, horrible like they've accused pro athletes of doing. But he's done some supplements. But folks, here's the deal, though. I'm not saying Triple H is clean of human enhancing drugs. But here's the deal. A lot of this stuff to build muscle and toning, it's not FDA approved. That's what people have to understand.
No, not really.
No, it isn't.
Is that in the bodybuilding world, guys have problems because even if these supplements aren't considered human growth, they're not tested.
No.
Pre-workout is not FDA approved, and yet everyone seems to use it, which I don't understand.
Which is why you see a lot of Olympic athletes get suspended all the time, and you're
over nothing.
You're like, wait a minute, I can go buy that at your local GNC. Well, that's weird. Why are you getting suspended for that?
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of stuff you're doing that workout, it tax on your body. It's going to attack on your heart.
He's also
had a problem.
He's also getting to an age where a lot of things are just happening from the stuff that you've done in the past. He was never a drinker. He was never a smoker or a drug guy.
No.
But he was a gym rat.
Yeah.
We all saw. Look, guys, we all know what ultimately popped Eddie's heart was his years of drug abuse. Mm-hmm. But Eddie was also a little too much of a workout warrior for, I think, even his own good based on how much he pushed himself.
He went off the drugs, and that was his new drug.
Yeah.
I mean, and I understand for age. I mean, shoot, I have my knees and my ankles, and I don't do much, and they're hurting.
Yeah.
And that happened because of age. Oh, my God.
But reports from everyone are that he will be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
He'll make a full recovery. Our best wishes are out to the boss himself, Mr. Paul Levesque. We love you, Paul.
One of my heroes, even though I hated him as a kid.
You did.
I'm praying for his good health with him and his
course.
family and everything. His little girls.
Today is a day in which Jesse gets to have a lot of conversation. Before we get to that, though, announced this morning, Dewdrop has celebrated a wonderful union.
Congratulations to her.
I
didn't even know she was dating.
Yeah.
Well,
So now I look
a long
creepy.
time.
Yeah, slightly.
I believe on Twitter it said her boyfriend of like 3 or 4 years.
Man.
So yeah, I'm so happy. I was
It's so
surprised
hard
myself
to keep
too.
your relationship quiet these days, though, when you're on social media.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, Piper, her actual name over in the NXT UK, she has really taken to that Dewdrop thing. She seems to not be making waves.
She's
or
not
getting
bothered by it.
She's just going with it.
Yeah.
She seems to be.
Well, first off, she's the consummate professional. That's neither here nor there.
No.
That's not up for discussion.
Nobody was questioning that.
I really do like a lot of the. Listen, the story hadn't been great, but the fact that she has taken to it and tried to do the best she can with it, they're going to probably do a lot with her.
She did. I'll pull up Twitter here. She posted a lovely.
Yeah,
the
beautiful the new husband and the dog.
It's great. Absolutely love it.
Beautiful.
She now mixed the rose thing that I sent to her in late 2019.
I'm not showing that to Zach, but there. Thank you.
That one's also married.
Yes.
I wish she wasn't. But as a black man, I'm very jealous of her husband. But I will say this. Congratulations.
Yes.
I cannot wait to see what happens with her on Raw next. I've actually been kind of getting into that one a little bit.
I also want to point something out. Raw's actually getting a little bit
It is.
better.
A little bit better
Slowly.
each week. Yeah.
Slowly. Also, by the way, we're about to talk about the PWI Top 500 is out. Oddly enough, for how bad we even shit on Raw ourselves, apparently people enjoyed it because number 3 and number 4, Jesse, respectively,
Are Raw superstars.
are both Raw superstars who were in the main event for most of the year. But anyway, so we're going to get into that. Actually,
there's
a couple more
quite
things.
A few.
Yeah, a couple
in
more
the
things.
top.
Al Snow has been reported as a hero saving a young boy's life from drowning.
Amazing story, really.
You know,
yeah,
folks,
I did. That was.
Folks,
So proud.
I lived up here my entire life. Jesse, you lived by a different body of water, but Lake Superior is basically the equivalent of an ocean.
It's pretty damn close.
Yes.
It basically links all the way out there.
Yeah. Folks, riptides are nothing to be scared of, or definitely be scared of them.
Well, yeah.
They're nothing to be trampled with. Water is a living thing.
Yes.
It will take what it wants. Please understand that if there is a report of riptides, be very careful getting in the water.
Hell, some people say don't even go swimming.
I don't.
If you're not the best swimmer, don't even
But I know
do it.
what to do in those situations.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, like, you don't know how you're going to react in panic.
Correct.
Even though I've been caught in a couple of nothing really bad.
Yeah.
I've just been caught in a couple of, like, quick riptides.
Because, I mean, around here, Lake Superior, around this time of year,
Yeah.
if you're still going, it starts to get a little worse as the season gets colder.
Yes,
gets-
Just because the low,
Yeah.
now everything that was frozen underneath finally came up.
Yeah.
And so now it's a little worse,
Yeah.
but it's going to be frozen again in like 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So-
according to the story, I mean, he was like dead ass tired when he got.
Oh, I
up
bet,
there.
yeah.
And props to Al Snow.
Al's always been a constant professional.
good-
Al's always been
Wonderful man.
Al's a guy that's like a mannequin head, and regardless of what anyone wants to believe, we still remember that story.
Oh, we remember
It's
that
like-
damn head.
What does everybody want? Head. What does everybody need? Head.
Of
course.
3 or 4, actually.
Oh, at the same time.
At the same time,
all right.
if possible.
People always say comedy wrestler patient zero is Colt Cabana. It might have been Al Snow.
It might have been Al. It's just Colt Cabana in our generation almost perfected it.
Yeah.
And has been able to even get himself more over than Al Snow ever could.
Yeah.
But Al Snow might be the originator of, like, listen, you can do this and still be
Colt.
I'm glad
do well.
we
We
got
met
to meet
Colt at Fortune Mania.
2. Yeah, number 2.
Fortune Mania 2. He made some jokes with us. He kind of made some fun of us, but Colt's a great guy.
Oh, he is. Wonderful. I'm glad I got to meet him, get a picture with him,
I
too.
love Colt.
Got
Also-
his T-shirt upstairs, too.
Also,
yeah.
Jesse, your girl, Tessa, it's reported that the top 2 American companies want nothing to do with her. And AEW, as we'll talk about their pay-per-view later in the show,
Yeah.
they're willing to steal anybody
Yes,
at this
they
point.
are.
They just signed Lee Majority.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
Lee
folks,
Moriarty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lee Moriarty misspoke there. But by the way, folks, no offense to Lee. I've enjoyed his work. Not exactly the biggest signing
No.
in the world based on what they've been doing.
But getting him right now where you can still kind of teach him,
Yeah.
which we'll see. They haven't adopted this new thing with Dark and Dark Elevation where they'll be in studio format.
Yeah, no.
Down there in Orlando, which is the right move.
yes.
Allow those people to develop that you want to sign as your underlings.
Yeah.
And now that way on Dynamite you can figure out how you can get fucking 3 hours of TV, right?
The only question now is that
Are you sure they're going to get it right?
I don't know.
The only question now is that Jesse is preparing his list of indie guys who have been buried by AEW.
Oh, we're getting close.
But but the question
number's
is
real
now.
high.
But the question is
All right.
now. I hate to say it. Now that you've signed Lee and he's had TV time, who on Dark and Dark Elevation has to wait another 6 months before they get another chance on Dynamite?
Here's the problem when you accumulate. So there's a reason WWE just had to go through all these releases.
Yeah.
When you have so much talent and you're not using it, eventually the number starts to add up.
Yep.
It
And
does.
the hardest thing to control in business, folks, whether it's sports, retail, or otherwise, is labor costs.
And here's the best thing for those wrestlers now that and we're still in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
But a lot of those American wrestling companies, including NWA, who has grown so much in popularity.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're also, they also have a way to put their wrestlers on the forefront.
Yep.
That's
And
right.
the fact that you can put now these independent wrestlers into a opportunity where they're like, well, listen, we don't have to go to WWE or AEW. There's so many options now.
Well, but what I think
Yes.
AEW is going to sadly learn, and sadly we'll talk about this a little later and more in depth, but I think Tony is finally admitting all these Young Bucks signings, they weren't going to get me to the ratings that I wanted.
No.
Because the fact of the matter is that here's the deal. You really want to stick it to WWE? Get to 1.5 million consistently with your guys.
Yeah.
Aaron actually asked the question in the PWL, and he was right. Name a homegrown talent in AEW. And I think that if you want to define homegrown talent, is somebody who has come in and completely reinvented themselves into an AEW product, but everyone's just doing the same shit they were doing on the indies. on national television. Nobody's
That's
more
about
over.
it.
We've talked about this.
No.
Orange Cassidy, Jesse even had to eat crow last week. That guess what? He thought Orange Cassidy was taking the belt off of Kenny.
This man is.
Shit has happened with Orange Cassidy since he was the main event.
This man is nowhere near it. I will say this: he's probably not long for a long career, but Darby Allin has actually found a way to get himself.
Oh,
over.
I agree 100%. But
He has.
But the problem is that Tony is short-term booking with all these signings, and we'll talk about more of them when we review the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But Tony has clearly showed me that this is all hot shot to get ratings now. We don't know what's going to happen in 6 months. You're literally wasting.
I mean, I can tell you what's going to happen in 5. They'll be on TBS.
Yeah, but
That's
here's
true.
the deal. You are wasting all of your material in the fall of 2021, not realizing that your goal is to have this go on through the winter, through the spring, through the summer, and another year. Here's the deal. I don't care who you are. I think CM Punk got to a point where he only was popular when he came back because he left. He was getting stale to even the fans.
Right.
And I hate to say it, but at the pay-per-view, crowd was not what I was expecting.
No.
Crowd. I'm not trying to invent shit. I watched this pay-per-view for free, by the way, the very next morning on Monday.
Yes, I did.
Yep, Leroy watched it too, so Leroy's right there with us.
Unfortunately, I had one up and I left. I came back. It got
removed,
closed.
but
I'm like, oh, so I went to one right down below. Boom.
You found 2, 3
It was
more. It's
right
not
down
that
below.
hard.
Boom.
Once again, I
Lots
ain't
the rest
paying
of it.
$50 for this shit. Although this was a solid pay-per-view.
This was actually
It
a good
was,
pay-per-view.
yes.
But when we go through it,
Best cage match ever. We'll get into
Yeah,
that.
boy.
Great cage match.
it was good. I will say this though.
Best ever.
I will say this though.
No.
In my notes, I have this. Them goddamn Young Bucks, and I'll explain that later. But for right now, we have
What?
2 more things to get through.
What?
Back to your girl Tessa, Jesse.
Yeah.
Nobody wants her apparently.
Does
Mexico even want her back?
What did she do?
She must have did. So she's been working at the PC Center
Yeah.
for at least 6 months, and so the fact that they haven't even offered her a contract.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It is crazy.
That's scary for her career, because that means she had, before she got injured, Bailey, Sasha, like women who are actually kind of her friends, and they still didn't offer her a contract.
No.
I don't know. I haven't seen something so like almost obvious, like somebody is so toxic in a while.
Yeah.
Because usually wrestling companies are more, screw it, I'll take a shot, because they're too big of a name for me to not even take a shot. But no one, NWA has not come calling.
Leroy,
it's insane.
If I may say,
Go
Jesse,
for it.
Leroy, Hogan, Hall, Nash, Warrior. How many more guys can I go down from your era that were not the easiest people to work with, and it's not like nobody called them. Everyone called them.
Well, yeah.
They were just.
You can even put Flair into that.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
totally.
Oh, 100%.
Rick Rude, Kurt Hennig. I mean, they how they had their egos.
Yeah.
I mean, Piper, he had his egos.
Yeah. But
Kurt Hennig and the famous flight with Brock Lesnar, like that
no,
almost says
yeah.
it all.
yeah, no, but it's just one of these things where like, Jesse, I mean, it's clear to me, and I think it has to be said that there has to be a bullying thing going on here. There's got to be something with her, because Jesse, she was in their building for 6 months.
For 6 months.
And your sources are obviously very well,
Yeah.
entitled
Yeah.
there. So I mean, but it's just one of these things that, like, she has to be a toxic person for nobody to go after someone who is just clearly a generational talent.
I mean, she's incredible. Now, like I said, I don't know if she should have been beating Brian Cage clean or anything like that.
Yeah.
To be fair to Brian Cage, but she is an incredible talent who's been within the WWE system for 6 months. By the way, not to work a WWE style, because she's capable of doing it.
Oh yeah.
And they still didn't sign her? That's not good, man.
Well, okay, here's the other thing. For 5 seconds, we're going to take a little trip into the Spot Monkey Wrestling locker room. For how tight-knit that locker room is, all the reports that everybody's just happy-go-lucky, having a good time, they clearly don't want her either.
No.
And for the Bucks to say no to literally anybody, you said yes to Jimmy freaking Havoc, who clearly had problems.
By the way, those allegations against him have been known for 7 years. So the fact that they were like, yeah, if
they were willing to bring in Joey Ryan for just being Joey Ryan, forget the allegation.
Like, because I used to go to those independent shows.
And her
back
dad
in the
is
day.
there too.
Yeah,
so I'm like, why?
Most people kind of had an idea that Jimmy Havoc was a piece of crap human being, and yet people kept bringing him on. Okay, you know?
Can't blame the guys over in progress because I think what we learned is that the UK just in general wasn't really understanding a lot of what was going on in their own system. So I can't blame the guys in progress in terms of like the locker room. Or the
I will
workers.
say this about WNW, Progress, X and W's, all those the British promotions, is that when they were made aware of some of these guys' transgressions, they should have looked into it. That's all.
Oh yeah, no,
they didn't do enough to protect not only the guys from themselves, but tell them female wrestlers that they wrestle with and things of that nature. And listen, I give the owner of Progress a lot of credit. He took a lot of blame. He said, "Listen, we should have been better about this." And I failed. Like there's nothing more I can say. I failed these people.
Yes.
But
what's done is done. But just sit there and take on the
The fact you are so toxic that people would rather take a shot on Jimmy Havoc and not you. Listen. It's insane.
Joey Ryan. They took a chance with Joey Ryan. Tessa Blanchard has never wrestled in AEW, even when AEW had all those wrestlers.
She did wrestle at the first ever. I think that was called All In.
Okay,
she did wrestle that in a triple threat.
That's not an official.
But they call it their official. Blah blah blah. But
whatever.
I mean, no actual champions were crowned or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, besides from the New Japan matches, which were phenomenal.
Yeah, of course.
But otherwise, like, it's insane. She was there for 6 months, and they wouldn't sign her. I think she needs to take a few months before she tries to get back into wrestling, because she clearly still loves it.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to her dad and find a way to change people's thoughts on her, because the fact that none of these companies want to pick her up, even with all that talent she has.
And I'll be honest with you, Jesse, we're not even here to talk about...
Her husband wrestles in Mexico, and they won't touch her.
Yes.
And they'll work with anybody.
And you think, if you think Stardom is so desperate to sign her out there, like
seriously, Sexy Star had to be like publicly embarrassed for trying to injure Rosemary before they cut the ties with Sexy Star, knowing what she was.
Yeah.
And I think at the time, like one of the owners of the promotion was dating her and all that.
Yeah.
But like, that had to get so boiled up that they were like, okay, we can't take this.
Well, that had to get to the point where, like, even Cody Rhodes was saying, "You'll never be in a locker room with me," type of deal. It's like here's the deal. Sexy Star broke one of the ultimate rules in ring.
Yes.
And they just blacklisted her from the damn business. but to sit there and to think to your. It's 24-21. Shut up. The Jets are worse. Anyway, it is football season, folks.
Yes.
But no, Jesse. The fact is that Sexy Star broke an unwritten rule that is as sacred to the old days back to the old Carney days.
Yeah.
You don't go into business for yourself while the match is
exactly.
live. You want to have it out in the locker room?
Yeah.
Fine, no one cares.
Yeah.
But not on camera.
Correct.
And during Triple Mania.
Their biggest pay-per-view of the year.
This overshadowed their biggest pay-per-view.
Yeah. And it just... I guess the good sex that the owner was getting was no longer good enough to keep her around. But I will say this, the fact that they haven't even offered Tessa anything with her husband in the promotion...
Yeah.
That says a lot.
And Daga's a pretty decent, guy in terms of in ring
really
down
well
there.
Liked in his own country.
Yeah.
So like,
Daga can get work. There's no issue there.
Yeah,
but my God,
to me, it's crazy. Like I said, I think she should take a breath away from wrestling.
Yeah,
at least until the end of the year.
Yeah,
she's got to find a way to convince. Because it's weird that Vince McMahon, of all people, who knows her talent, would just be like, no. Want
nothing to do with you.
Yeah. So.
But yeah. So anyway, folks, Tessa Blanchard is a free agent. I don't know who's looking to sign her. I don't know who wants to book her. But apparently, it's not a lot of people because she has not wrestled in a while. And
dude, it's been almost 2 years.
Now, okay, here's my question. Not just the bullying scandal.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe the rumor that she asked for $150,000 from Impact for the belt back, you think maybe that's now more true than people were thinking?
I gotta be honest. I think just the rumor of her just being a true blue, absolute asshole of a person.
Yeah.
Because remember, Vince is going to take a shot on her just from the fact that, by the way, people talk about the rebrand of NXT. I promise you, Vince never used to watch NXT, but the fact that he watched her match from the Mae Young Classic tells you that he was very interested in her. Mm-hmm. Then she did decide to go to Impact, which was smart for her career.
Yep.
And they gave her all the shots in the world because of her talent. And it got so bad there, Scott D'Amore was like, I can't do this with you anymore.
Yeah. Scott, and by the way, I'm sure Scott tried.
Scott has a lot of patience with people.
He does.
Remember, he used to have to work under Dixie Carter.
Yeah.
Like, he understands, like, sometimes you got to work with absolute
when you have to sit there, like, okay, here's the deal. When you have to sit there and you want to all of a sudden sit there and be like, oh my God, how many more conversations of the Real Housewives of Nashville can I sit through? All of that, and you still won't touch Tessa Blanchard. There's a problem there. And that's wow.
Like I said, I don't know what the future of her career is.
Yeah.
Because she has to change people's perspective on her inside of locker rooms at this point. So, like, I don't know what she does, because the fact that now she after being within the WWE system for that long, by the way, not being signed, just kind of working with people.
AEW has had multiple women's battle royals, and they've picked, like I said, the lowest of the Joshi women wrestlers.
Yeah.
No offense to the women who started,
but
it's
the ones they can get.
Yeah, but Jesse, they won't even touch her
no.
over women who have to get. Tony Khan is clearly paying for the international travel here.
Well, yeah.
That's being written off. We all know that.
That's a tax write-off for his daddy.
Yes.
Clara wanted to make the Oreo cookie.
It's one of those things. Like I said, she needs to take the rest of the year off. And find a way to turn people's opinions on her. Because the fact that she was able to walk away from the PC Center and not get signed is a horrible sign for her career.
Yep, especially now when there's all these contracts going.
Especially when Vince probably needs something very much so to pop.
Yep.
So
all right. So the microphone is on. Leroy is prepping. All right. We're gonna take a quick note here. Austin, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the show, Austin Arrow is live with us today. Austin, first and foremost, may I say, brother, it is a welcome just sign to just hear your voice, man. I mean, it's been so long. I mean, it's
been a long time, too long almost.
Yes, yes. So first and foremost, may I say, from a personal standpoint, it's great to hear from you. Family doing all right?
Everything is great, and you guys have the luxury of being my first podcast back, so I'm
excited. All right, yeah, we're happy to do that. All right, so Austin, we all had an interesting year. I'm just going to use that word for right now. So I guess my biggest thing is, do you want to maybe give some people some updates on like where your life and career was over the past, I would say, 15 months?
Yeah. On the outside looking in, the way I would say it, if you were outside looking in, like on my social media, it looked like everything was in order, and it looked like I had everything under control. And I think the word I would say is behind the curtain. Everything kind of wasn't in order, and it didn't feel like it was in my control. It was in control, but it wasn't in my control. And
okay.
It was hard to deal with, and I feel like me leaving when I was on top of both promotions I was on top of the Minneapolis promotion, and I was on top of my Sioux Falls promotion, and like that's when I left. And that should be the biggest sign of like something was wrong, that this guy's on top and he wants to leave. Like that's not something seriously wrong. So I hope people didn't take too much disrespect for me leaving so abruptly, but that should be the biggest sign of like, okay, something was wrong.
Right.
And when I left, it hurt to leave, but the year that I took off, or the little over a year I took off, was so needed, because I found so much that I'm going to put into my wrestling. Like, if anybody's watching my social media right now, you would see that there's a different vibe on the Austin Arrow accounts, and I think it's pretty exciting. Like, I'm excited to do it all, and the last 15 months was well needed, I think.
Now,
That's awesome
now
to hear.
is most of the newer stuff on your social media, is this stuff that was like suggested to you from other people, or is this just stuff that you kind of were like thinking about in your time off? Where did a lot of this come from?
Exactly. You hit, the second part was exactly right. It all came from me. Like, this was what I needed, I think. It was, I couldn't find a healthy balance in between what I wanted to present myself with and what I think what the promotions wanted me to present myself with, and it was a weird battle to deal with. And when I left and kind of found a different art that I fell in love with, which is I think filmmaking, editing, and music, and I put that into Austin Arrow, and now everything on my social media now is just going forward. I can promise going forward it's just all me. It's all my ideas. It's all my editing. It's all the music I like. It's everything is Austin Arrow now going forward.
Now, we have, I believe we've shared Austin's latest video on our page. It's
I believe
on his,
so, yeah.
Yeah, it's on his social media. I've posted it to every wrestling group that I can think of that I'm in. But, okay, so Austin, I have to ask a little bit here because obviously it's a big topic in wrestling right now with a lot of, working with people that run other promotions. Do you, what are the feelings that you have with these promotions in that you said a lot of it was what they wanted, you wanted, there was a clash. Do you hold a lot, into that, or was it just kind of that's where you were and that's where you were at?
Yeah, I think the easiest way I could describe it was when I first ever started wrestling 3 years ago. Like, I was such a natural, and I'm not going to be cocky right now. Wrestling came so natural to me because it was such a lifelong dream that when I got in there, I took it all serious, and like it became so natural to me that like my career blew up. This is going to be hard to say, but kind of blew up a little too fast for me to handle. Like,
I would say that, yeah.
Like, I became like a main event person really fast, and I didn't know how to handle that big of a spotlight. So instead of me like taking control of that spotlight, I let a lot of I kind of went against the grain of being myself, and I wanted to keep that spotlight, but it also wasn't like everything that I wanted it to be. So like it was a weird battle. Like, it was all positive, but it was just I don't know. It was a beautiful disaster in my head, I guess.
Totally.
I respect that.
Totally cool. So anyway, so now you have you've debuted for one show back so far. Have you had? Is it the one major appearance so far?
Yep. The first place I wanted to debut coming back from my break was the place that kind of gave me the ropes, which was, the Midwest All Pro, which is ran by my coach, Nick Dinsmore.
Yeah.
So, that's where I wanted, like, I told myself going back, if I was going to go back, I was going to go kind of like in the same trail, but my own trail this time. So I started right back at day one over at Midwest All Pro.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Hi, Austin. This is Jesse here. First off, like he said, it's great to have you on the show. My question to you, a little deeper, but not too personal, is just how was it to kind of be back? Because and also the fact that how do you feel about how people have taken you explaining why you had to step away, and the fact that you've now decided to come back and try it on basically terms that you prefer yourself. How has this process been for you coming back?
I definitely feel more ready. Like, I felt like more ready for, like, the word that keeps popping up a lot, like when I left and then when I was getting ready to come back, was the word stress. Like that. Yeah. That word means so like meaningful to a lot of different things. Like, so when I was coming back just now, I knew that I wanted my fans and like coworkers and other promotions to know why I left, and it wasn't because of bad feelings. It wasn't because of like backstage heat. It wasn't because of nothing. It was because of like the stress that I let like build up that I wasn't trying to take care of, or I didn't acknowledge. So when I came back, I wanted to acknowledge that I left because of stress, and it wasn't like body stress. It was like a mental stress that I caused, that nobody, like, no heat on anybody. It's all good feelings. And like I try to put stress into a positive light in that video that I posted. Yeah. And I felt like it got a lot of good feedback, and like
yeah, because that was going to be my next question to you was, by the way, I personally want to thank you for, for putting that video out and talking about, because people don't actually, especially with pro wrestlers, never think about how you guys deal with mental anxieties and things of that nature. Because, we always think about the physical toll that sometimes the business can take, but we never think about the mental toll, and How has it been to be able to kind of put that out there and have people respond to you so positively?
I'm hoping, because I'll never want to speak for other people, but
Yeah.
what I'm hoping for with my message is that stress is good if you look at it in a positive way. Like, it's gonna suck. Like, stress sucks, and it's if it's stress from rejection or if it's stress from not making it. Because I want people to realize, like, when I posted all of that stuff in my video, you see me with the title, you see me embracing the crowd, you hear the crowd chanting for me. So, like, with all that, like, so on the outside looking in, it looked like I was on top of the world, but I want people to know that, like, sometimes if that spotlight hits too fast or it is too bright for you to control, and if you don't have control of that, that causes stress too. Like, it's not always negative. Stress isn't always negative. Like, stress can come from positive things, and I want people to realize that you have to embrace that. You have to understand that this is going to happen, and you have to control it. Because if you don't control it, then you lose control, and that's the worst thing.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, and Austin, I know last time you were on, you did. We were working with MAW, and we know Dave. Midwest All-Star Wrestling, you had the title. They are starting a tournament. I'm really hoping that you are going to be included in that because you did hold the title beforehand. I don't know if you can give us any hints for that, or you don't know anything. I'm just asking.
We gotta ask. There's gotta be some journalisticness in this somewhere.
The questions that I gotta be asked. Okay, so the one I will say is that, like, I embraced and am so appreciative of everything that Dave and Eli are doing. I hope they listen to this. If not, I'm gonna make them listen to this.
We definitely will.
I need to apologize because, like, I did hold a lot of embarrassment. I guess that's another negative term that, like, I need to embrace, but, like, a lot of embarrassment of the way I left with them, especially with Dave. Like, he was always so good to me, and, like, the way I kind of another negative term, burned a bridge with Dave when I left was not the way I wanted to be, but it's the way it came out. And but about this tournament, yeah, when I saw that they posted about a tournament, you know, the wrestler in me, the athlete in me, the fire in me that's in me right now, like, I was like, you know what, I never lost that title, and I would hope at least a chance. Like I said, I don't want anything back. When I came back, I told myself, you'll never get everything back. When I come back, I'm not going to be champion. When I come back, I'm not going to get on top of the world. I have to earn all that back, and all I want is a chance to earn it back. And if I'm in that tournament, you damn right, Austin Arrow's going to try to earn that back.
Yeah, and we did. We got to talk to another guy that's he's new in MAW, Jack Ledger. I don't know if you know him or if you've followed him. I honestly would love to see you and him go, because I watched you when you were wrestling, and I loved you. Great performer. And we saw Jack. I think both you guys together in that ring would be great. Honestly, have you ever?
Jack and I have shared a couple of shows together. So, like, we've been in the same locker room, and just that enough as a wrestler sharing a locker room with somebody, you get, like, the vibe off people. And me and Jack have always had a good vibe. We're not besties, obviously. We're not best friends. We're not hugging each other right now, but we are. We have a good vibe, and I think, and, like, I like his style. I like the high flyer all around style, because my striker sit down grounded style they match perfectly. So yeah, if me and Jack Ledger meet in the tournament or meet just any other promotion, I hope people are there to watch, because it's going to be a banger.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to reach out on Instagram saying, hey, he has to get that figured out.
Yep. All right. Well, so Austin, I guess we're obviously gonna have you back on once things start to pick up a little more. But I guess the biggest question now in everyone's mind is, where are your plans? And that's actually how I want to phrase that. Where are your plans taking you over the next year of your career? I mean, what's your next year gonna look like now that you're back?
And this is the good thing. This is what I was hoping I'd get asked, because in that video, I don't know if I blocked the video because it's not an embarrassing thing. It's just because I don't want to have negative stuff, my negative thoughts on my Facebook and whatever. But I took my leaving video off my Facebook. But in that video, if anybody remembers, I remember saying I hate saying I don't know to a lot of things. But now with this year off, I embrace the term I don't know. Yeah. And that's with my future plans coming up. I don't know. I'm handling what I handle right now. I'm getting a lot of good offers. I'm getting wink, wink. I'm getting a lot of good offers after that video. A lot of people are embracing me back. Yeah. And I don't know what's coming up, but I know that I have a lot of opportunities. And if anybody knows Austin Arrow, when the opportunity knocks, I mother effing answer. So
yes, you do, sir.
Just watch.
Well, you know what? I'm not here to say this just because we, love our boy Austin here. That's one of the best answers I've ever gotten to a question like that. I think it's absolutely
agree.
You know what,
perfect,
though?
and-
I in Austin, I don't speak for you, but I do want to say this as a fan of you. I would expect nothing less of a guy with his drive, his passion, and his ability. He you know, not only with this, you know, with understanding, like I don't know, but I'm gonna just embrace each challenge.
Yep.
But understanding, like, if you offer me an opportunity,
Yeah.
you better damn sure understand I'm gonna capitalize
Right,
on it, and I
exactly.
cannot wait to see what you do next.
All right. Yep. All right. Well, Austin, thank you so much, brother. We will be in touch. And like I said, I'd love to talk more, but I want to talk more when there's more stuff to talk about of you having success, both personally and professionally. So thank you so much for that short interview, my friend.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for having me.
All
Oh,
right,
thank
man.
you, man. You have a good one. Actually, before he
Later.
goes, where can people find you, brother?
Yeah. No, go ahead. Where can we find you?
All three main social medias: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. My Facebook's the main one. Instagram's kind of in second, but yeah, my art's gonna be everywhere. Austin Arrow is gonna be everywhere on all three. So whatever one you decide to follow, you'll see me.
Awesome.
All right, thank you, Austin. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Love you.
Bye. All right. So, anyway, that was great to talk to him.
Man, he's first of all.
I missed wrestling without him.
Yes.
Because you know, it's so interesting. You know, Leroy, when you and I first did this, we had Jason, not Jesse, and I remember the first MAW show that we did after Grand Slam
a lot
2.
of J's, guys.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. We get attracted to this
Jason,
J's for some reason here.
But anyway, so no, Leroy. I remember the first show that we really did after Grand Slam, I think, was the Turtle Lake show.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Austin, and you know, it's like, look, folks. I'm a fan. I'm a journalist of the sport. I work for a lot of the promotions. I
Yeah.
set up rings. I never expect talent to remember me. Austin just came over, gave me a big hug, a big high five. Just a great guy. Really appreciative
when
of
I,
everything.
When I just reached out to him just
Yeah.
recently after he put his stuff, I
Yeah.
said, hey, you know, we saw you at this. And then he goes, I remember you guys.
Yep.
He remembered us.
Yep.
I mean, as some people realize, he is a wonderful Native American
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
wrestler, performer. There's not many out there.
No.
No.
And you see, me and Zach are fans because we are both
We get-
sporting
We
his
got Austin's
Austin Arrow
old shirt there.
shirts.
Austin wasn't really in the business when Jesse started coming to shows with us. I think he might have been at one or two shows.
Because he was at the joint show with SDW when I went down with you guys.
Steel Domain.
Steel Domain.
Yeah,
Yes,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
he was there.
Yep.
We
But-
might have to, you know, poke that guy that we know that runs up here that maybe
who
he
knows?
should.
Yeah. We got a direct line of some people up
like,
here.
Alex, you busy?
So,
You call this
yeah.
guy.
So anyway, moving forward, we have so Jesse.
What's next?
Jesse, here's the deal. The reason why I said a lot of things are going to come down to you today. We talked earlier about you are from the wonderful city of New York City.
Yes, I am.
You are from the wonderful borough of
Brooklyn.
New York. WWE made a reappearance in a building that only up until the last 5 years they've not only owned. They were the only ones allowed in.
Yeah.
Obviously, a successful show by New Japan allowed
Of
that
course.
to change. Yes, Kenny, the last rock and roller was the one who sold out Madison Square Garden. Not you and the Bucks.
Yeah.
The King, not the God, was the one that sold that out.
Breathe with the switchblade, bitch.
And anyway, so no, Jesse, WWE went to the world's most famous arena,
Yes.
Madison Square
Or
Garden.
as they like to say, they came home.
Yes. I also want to point something out, folks.
They did.
Folks, that is not a tagline. Any artist from any country, anywhere, in any way of sports, music, sports entertainment, they all talk about that's the Mecca. If you, as much as I don't like Justin Bieber, I got to give him credit for one thing. You sell that out, there's something
You're
to
a
you.
star. You're an absolute star.
Whether you're a star in the right way or not is a completely different story. But
You know what? It's funny because now as he's gotten older, I've actually come around on Justin a lot. But I will say this. Listen, great show. Like I told people when they announced that they were going to do this show, by the way, right around the anniversary of 9/11, of course.
Yes.
The day before. Yep. Well, the night before.
yes.
Which, they had a beautiful tribute.
And
I
that
know
thing-
people are wondering if I was there. Unfortunately, yes, I was there. I was a young kid.
Yep.
Not an experience I like to talk about, but I think that's the closest I've ever been to what felt like a war zone.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But I will say this:
How far away was the World Trade Center
where you were?
block from Brooklyn? Because
not even
people
more than
always
a quarter
wanna-
mile.
Because
my
people
God.
always want to think that Brooklyn's a whole nother, state away. It's really not. It's just that's how big New York City is.
It was only about a quarter mile
God,
where I was.
Really?
as a kid,
Okay.
yeah.
It was hard for me sitting at home watching it. I could not imagine being that close.
And now
watching that.
and it's
Oh my
funny because
God.
like God rest her soul, my grandmother's gone now on
Yes.
my father's side.
Yes.
But back then she was not.
No.
She used to work in one of those buildings. Luckily she called in.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and maybe her intuition knew something that we,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will say this: when WWE comes back to New York, and like I told people when they were going to tune into SmackDown,
Even if it's a live event, that show will never not be sold out.
that show
Mm-hmm.
one is going to sell out, and two, they're going to put on a hell of a show for a New York crowd.
Oh, yes.
Because Vince and his dad made their roots there.
Yes.
So they understand
What
when
New
you
York's
go to New
looking for.
York,
Yeah.
you better put on a damn show because New York will boo you out the damn building. They don't
And we
care.
talked about that with the upcoming Arthur Ashe Stadium show with AEW, which I think they're going to...
Pressure is on.
Well, not only
Oh, yeah.
that, but the other problem is after we talk about this pay-per-view, and I like to plant little seeds leading up to our review for the pay-per-view.
Oh, by the
They
way,
kinda
hold on,
Yeah,
before
no,
you
no, no,
finish,
yeah, go ahead.
MJF, Arthur Ashe is in New York. Your joke doesn't frickin' matter. Talking about, oh man, I gotta go to
Jersey?
New Jersey. Shut up, stupid ass.
He has to work on his geography.
But I just want to point something out. But that's what points something out. Again, planting the seeds.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to debut there because they've got to be out of big things here.
Before we get into this,
Yeah, but no.
let's
true.
talk WWE first of
Yes.
all.
This show
was awesome.
I don't look, folks. That was one of the better 10-man tag team matches I've seen in a while, where you basically were just like, we're gonna throw a bunch of stories together and see what happens. It was well done.
And I keep
It
saying,
was, yeah.
I keep saying the one thing WWE can still do better than any other actual wrestling promotion. You know what? To be honest, outside of Dave and MAW down there at this point,
Yeah.
is that great job, Dave? Like what you guys do when it comes to just celebrities and legends, especially for a local promotion.
Yeah.
God, I love those guys. They're amazing. Is celebrities and
They
legends.
almost. You know what? It's New York City. I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody wouldn't have hopped the rail after Trae Young. I'm not even joking, man. When they said Trae Young, I actually sat up, raised my eyebrows, and said, "That is one of the most brilliant goddamn things you could think
You
of."
want to get the heel super heat? Bring in the guy New Yorkers hate so much right now.
Because the last time Trae
Probably
Young
more
was
than
in that,
Tom Brady at this current moment.
because when Trae Young was in that building last, he shot them Knicks out the building.
Hey, listen, I didn't expect us to go to the second round, but he didn't have to be a dick about it.
See, Aaron had a comment with that. He was like, "Oh, bring him to Philly when you
Oh,
get down to
my
Philly." I'm like, "Oh boy."
I do want to point something out. Trae Young was not so much a dick in person. He beat you guys down.
Well, yeah.
He was spit on the last
Like,
time he
you
was
didn't
in that
have to-
building.
You didn't have to rip our souls, you ass.
My God.
But so yeah, now he's probably the biggest heel in New York of all time right now.
What was so funny is, at first, he didn't know what the hell to do.
He looked a
You
little
want to know the
confused.
sad part about it is, he still looked more comfortable than Logan Paul has the entire friggin' 2 months he's been here.
That's the one celebrity that they keep bringing back that I just don't understand. But I think they're just trying
He
to
has
get
a
Kevin.
following, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like, I hate to say it, we've actually chronicled how much of a piece of garbage he is. He has a following. I really hate to say it.
And it's funny because his brother's way worse.
His brother's 1,000 times worse
His
than
brother's
he
a
is.
1,000 times
Oh,
worse.
Jake Paul's an absolute complete loser.
10-man tag. Yes, people, the controversy that they end up cutting the match.
We'll talk about that.
But
in
in
a
its
second.
place, I did like the contract signing. It did go a little too long. For people who
but
don't,
at the same time,
They usually do.
Becky. Okay, I want to point something out. This
is actually Becky's idea to go heel.
not only that, but here's the deal. This was the moment. This was the night where I said to myself, okay, this isn't going to be one of the modern day heel runs like Kevin Owens had when he first got here, where he was getting cheered even though he was still being a dick.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Becky legitimately got that crowd to kind of start to turn the
Yeah.
other way. And she was openly heel
Yes.
in this. This wasn't subtle.
Yeah.
The hair's starting to change a little bit. She did that wonderful thing where you start to change the hair,
Yeah.
but there's that remnant of the love and affection that people had for you there.
Yeah.
The tips of her hair are still the light.
Yep.
This is one of those moments where I look at myself and I say, if we weren't beyond the veil, this would have been a night-making moment for Becky Lynch.
Oh yeah.
20, 30
And
years
also,
ago?
and also the fact that, and I gotta, like I said, I don't. It's weird with WWE creative because when you watch the two shows, you're like, there's no way the same people are writing for both shows.
No, don't they generally have two people writing?
It's a couple
But
of
then
people. It's Bruce.
Vince-
Paul is half involved because he's mostly involved with the main event
on
stuff.
SmackDown, yeah.
But I will say this: Bianca Belair's rise as a babyface, number one, homegrown talent.
Yes.
That's what I think. That's what they're really hoping for.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if anyone's. Just a little quick side note, off the top, but I'm sure he'll be up on the main roster before we can think about it.
Yeah.
Apparently, young Brock Lesnar got a name change, and so I made the joke, and everyone was like, "No, that's probably factual." I'm like, "So he'll be NXT champion within 2 months?"
Was that the recent one I just saw about the two
Parker,
recent chains?
Parker
Brodeau
Brodeau is now, I think, Hunter something.
Hunter Garland.
Hunter Garland or
Yeah,
something like that.
I just want to point something out, though. If he somehow works out, that's a star right there. Just
He's
on
got
the
the
look
body.
alone.
And then,
yeah, no.
and then
I
we
mean,
got a up-and-coming Steiner.
Yeah, and what's funny is they allowed him to do Rex Steiner.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
which, by the way, I believe they started in the old WWF days, didn't
Yes,
they?
yes.
Yeah, they
Did
did.
they start in the South? I'm not sure about the. I can't remember the.
I don't know where
exact history of the Steiner brothers.
they were in WWE for a while, and they went to WCW and
Yeah.
came back.
Yeah.
And then WCW kind of became home for them for the
Yeah,
longest time.
basically. But
yeah,
arguably the best tag team of the 90s with Harlem Heat.
They're definitely up there.
Well, with some of the stuff that Scott Steiner did in that ring when he was younger.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
people don't people know him now as kind of like over Jack, steroid Jack.
Yeah.
But Scott Steiner was probably one of the best wrestlers in his day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, he was
Hands down.
He was a lot more athletic
Mm-hmm.
and more.
And Rick was more athletic for
flyer.
a bruiser than I
Yeah.
think people will ever
Yes.
give him credit
Oh
Yeah.
God, he was. Oh,
Rick-
I love the gremlin there. Oh
Rick,
yeah.
Rick was such a smooth big guy.
Yeah, and like I said,
I don't want to give him Bam Bam Bigelow title, but like he was
no.
close to Bam.
But he
Bam.
was close
Yeah.
for a guy his size.
Yeah.
But yeah, Becky, listen, it's getting there. I think the tide is starting to turn, and the heel turn should start.
You can
to work
also
here.
tell she wants
because
it
she's
to happen.
also
She wants it to
kind of
happen.
doing the cowardly heel
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Like understanding, like, yeah, I did surprise her to beat her.
Yeah.
There's a shot if I have to go against her again, I might not be able to do it again.
Yeah. My only thing about this is that this was one of the biggest controversies coming out of a great SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Arguably
Yes.
the greatest SummerSlam of all time, buy-wise. But, folks, she is making this work.
Yeah, and like I said, it was her idea. So apparently, and I'll just let people know this. So apparently,
And she
the
should
story
have.
is,
By the way, before you continue
Yeah.
to go off that thing, she could have come back and just jumped right back on that horse.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
could have.
So it's been her idea because she's watched Roman, and so she talked with Joseph and I, about, hey, how did you kind of want to go about when you decided to come back as a heel?
Yeah.
Now he was blessed because they were still kind of doing the.
He left with the biggest baby face love you could have thought.
Well, because he
remember,
was supposed to go against Goldberg, who nobody wanted to see.
no, exactly. He, and especially at that point, leaving for his family, there was a lot of babyface love for Roman
Yeah.
when he walked out. But again, I don't want to say walked out because he didn't walk out.
He just said, "Listen, I got to step away."
He
There's
made a
this
personal
pandemic.
It was all. And by the way, for people who want to sit here and act like WWE was bad during the pandemic, they acted like a real business and said, "No, if you want to go home and take some time off, we get it."
We'll pay you.
Yeah,
They literally told people, "We'll pay you to go home." Like, it's fine. We get it.
yeah,
And with Becky's new stuff, we'll phrase to the phrase that you used last week.
yeah.
Heels doing heel shit.
Becky
You're,
Lynch.
you're not going to be happy. Some
No.
people are not going to be happy,
No.
but she's going to be a heel.
Yeah.
And again,
I love it.
Yeah.
and again,
She's still the man.
And it seems like she's embraced the quote unquote slow heel burn.
Yeah.
She's making sure, like I said earlier, with the hair, with the dress, with this, with that, with the way that she's been dressing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that whole like big ass
red coat.
mink coat.
Yes.
Oh,
but
my
like
God.
she got what looked like fucking sweatpants.
All-
I'm like, what the hell?
And
All I'm-
sunglasses that I don't know if they were going to block out. I don't know if they were going to shield her eyes from the sun. They might have blocked out the sun if they were any
Apparently,
bigger.
she went to her husband and were like, "What's the most obnoxious shit I can wear?"
And Seth is a genius at that because his whole damn heel run, he's had suits that I'm like, was the newborn baby painted on the suit? And
There
you're
we
just
go.
like, that's a great idea.
I like that. I'm gonna wear that.
By the way,
If
by
she
the way,
starts coming wearing that stuff like that, I'd be like, I'm going to have to tweet Seth and say,
Can
Seth,
I also say something?
what the
How
hell
does-
is going on?
How does Seth? By the way, beauty to Seth. We'll talk about him in a second. How does he go from being the weirdo suit guy to seamlessly? Now he's just portraying Michael Jackson every single week, and it's like just no one seems to be confused by it.
And by the way, as we now
Oh, yeah.
kind of transition from Becky to that,
Yeah.
I mean, just a classic of a match.
Oh, this was so
Yes.
good.
Him and Edge going.
And can I also point something out? One of the number one things that people have been pissed about WWE recently, and Raw's been probably the biggest proponent of it, is the constant rematch, nothing ends, rematch. The way this ended,
Was perfect.
it gives you a reason for a
Yes,
rematch.
yes.
It changed the whole story.
But I wasn't expecting what we saw. So that
No.
But
also big ups to them on that.
but rumor is the draft is coming up here soon in October.
It's going to start in
first or something like that.
It's going to start I believe first or second Friday Night SmackDown
Something
of
like
October,
that,
and then
yeah.
continue into the next Raw.
Yeah.
But
They're
folks,
gonna start doing on
Yeah,
SmackDown
yeah.
again. Okay, all right,
But-
probably a Fox thing.
Yeah, but just folks.
Hey, you
Seth-
know what? They
Seth-
pay him more money.
That's
Yep.
true.
They
Seth,
get it first.
Yeah, Seth and Edge together. This is the definition of these are two guys. It doesn't matter the age gap. It doesn't matter this. They just have chemistry.
Yes.
Oh god.
They could go in cold and have a 5-star match. Dave will never give it a 5-star, but they
That's
could go
true.
in. They could go in cold and they would have a 5-star level match.
Well, I think Seth and Edge have that ability with a lot of different wrestlers.
Which I
they can
agree.
do that.
But together, this
But
is
together,
magic.
oh god, yeah.
We
Well,
are- we
it
are-
is as Edge said, your Edge 2.0. Well, kinda, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a updated version of Edge,
Yeah.
which is Seth Rollins, and
But by the
Yeah.
way, but by the way,
Especially this new persona where he's just lost his mind, apparently.
here's
well,
and by the way,
depends on the
hold on,
week.
hold on. I want to
Okay.
talk about that as well. We'll get to that in a second because that was just perfect as well. This ending, you go back and watch. Seth was not stomping in a dangerous way. That was a safe move.
Yeah.
I'm not overly worried. I think Edge, but hey, Edge, like Goldberg at SummerSlam, constant professional. He stayed in character.
Yeah.
He stayed. And by the way, to have Ray walking to the ambulance with him, a longtime friend, longtime locker
Yeah.
room leader
Mhm.
guy, that was perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about a situation where Adam Pearce is helping the doctors as much as he was, but semantics. I digress on that. You
There
know,
we go, yeah.
it was what it was. But here's the deal. No, the ending was
Well, I was
perfect.
about to say I don't want to get into that because that means that's the negative on SmackDown, and we got a lot of negative with WWE to get to at some point. But go ahead.
But no. And by the way, Seth's interview was so perfect because we don't know where he's going. We don't know what's happening. Seth literally made it that night not only a hey, I'm continuing the Edge thing, but I ended the Edge thing all in the same damn
yeah.
segment, which was just brilliant.
Yeah.
People, it's like I keep trying to explain to people. You want to sit there and you want to rip on them changing the formatting of NXT, but after Seth and the Shield, you didn't get a lot of this anymore, and that's because
No.
I think they were building for their own shows, not for Raw and SmackDown. Moments like this, I'm sorry, it proves Vince right in a way. I'm not saying he's 100% right. I'm not saying that the rebranding of NXT is the best idea. I'm not. What I'm saying is, you watch what Seth did. You watch what Roman's been doing, folks. That's what NXT wasn't producing anymore.
To be fair, though,
and that's going to be this Tuesday, right?
Yes.
It is going to be Tuesday. Okay.
To be fair, though, got to be honest for Joe. It's very nice to have Samoa Joe in your family, The Rock in your family. Like, I'm just saying because these are guys who have been great at wrestling for a long time.
But then there's Seth. But then there's Seth.
Your father, who was a legend in the business,
right?
Like it does help. And I mean, listen.
Well, it's not like Roman hasn't earned what he's got.
Well, yeah, and I mean, listen. Their success with Seth and Moxley proves that they can build stars.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Dean Ambrose at the time, but
yeah.
But yeah, Seth is brilliant, even if I'm not always a fan of the man.
Do you want to borrow 2 DVDs I got from Darren that has
Tyler Black on?
Tyler Black.
I mean, I got all that stuff.
Oh, okay, all right.
Locked away with passwords and
Leroy.
stuff.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I love I got that.
Leroy, how dare you? Jesse was watching Tyler Black before anybody knew who Tyler
That's
Black
probably
was.
true.
Well, I don't know if he had.
You're sitting here acting like you got something over there. Jesse.
No, not something. No,
Jesse's that
no,
old
no,
school
no,
PWG,
no.
man.
I just
Tyler Black lived on that circuit.
I was something to share with Jesse if he hasn't seen it. See that?
And by the way,
I'm sharing with a friend.
But I promise
I didn't offer it to you. I offered it to Jesse.
But I promise you, I definitely
have
had that stored away somewhere in Google with 3 passwords so no one could get to it.
Yes, exactly.
But
exactly.
I will say this: he's brilliant. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next.
Yeah,
because that SmackDown main event scene starting to get very, very
Interesting,
heavy and
yes.
interesting.
Oh yeah, the 2 main, the Demon, and the Tribal Chief.
God, do you have any idea how to format?
And
You're just going to throw that out
then
there?
Brock.
Who? You're just going to throw that out there? Just say Balor. God damn it.
Okay, the Demon Finn Balor. Okay,
Hey,
all right, I'll say that better.
Really,
he gets fair treatment today. The Demon and Finn Balor are 2 different entities, okay?
But he had this. But it's on the list, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can't even follow your own format.
You know, screw
Demon
it.
versus
Screw
the
it.
Tribal Chief.
We're just going to throw this in.
The
here.
head of the table.
This is going to turn into a triple threat.
Yes.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't think they're beating. This is the first time I actually think Roman has a shot to actually lose a championship.
Yes.
Because I actually don't believe Vince would actually. I think he sees the Demon. Because think about it, Finn's the last small guy that Vince actually still has belief in at this point. And that is.
For those of you wondering, by the way,
of the Demon.
Yeah. For those of you wondering, by the way, what we're referring to is Paul Heyman's Nightmare has a new. Has a new character.
Yes.
And no, it's not the match we all want, which is Caleb Braxton versus Paul Heyman. No, this is...
That match is going to happen.
It needs
By the
to.
way, happy birthday, Paul. 56.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
yesterday.
It was
I mean,
yesterday.
I'm sure he wasn't able to celebrate.
No.
Especially with Brock Lesnar's music on his damn phone.
Oh my god.
That made me laugh 2 weeks ago. I'm like, wait a minute, why is his music?
Because he has to make sure who he's calling.
Oh my god.
I have ringtones for everybody to call.
Here's the deal.
I don't have ringtones for the
Here's the
X,
deal. I have to
unfortunately.
say this.
I got to find that one.
I have to say this. Paul has made this whole story so much more entertaining.
Yes.
And not from a hokey sports entertainment side. It's legitimately wrestling entertainment.
Yes.
This is what the old school managers used to do.
Yeah.
This is what Bobby Heenan used to do. And we loved every moment of Bobby Heenan as a manager, did we not?
And then Cornette talked about that too. He's like, yeah, so what if Heyman pulled out that big ass phone?
Oh my god!
To answer Brock Lesnar.
I'm like, oh my god!
That might have murdered me.
Well, by the way, they would have had an excuse because Brock lives in Saskatchewan on a farm.
And
it might have. Brock might have a landline. We don't friggin' know. But anyway,
and I was so happy that Pat was back.
Yeah, oh God, Pat McAfee.
Pat
McAfee was a bundle of nerves, and it just came out as a beautiful fucking butterfly.
He had I think he had the best line of the night when he said,
"This is the man that if the aliens came down, we would send." I'm just like, here's the thing.
I do totally agree with that.
Here's the deal. When Pat McAfee is screaming, he's at least in the show and putting people over.
Yeah.
Sadly, when Jericho screams on Rampage, It's just incoherent bullshit.
yeah.
It's so bad I can't even get.
I actually didn't watch Rampage this week because I knew it would be a nothing show, and guess what it was?
I watched Rampage with the
You
volume
did.
off only because Jericho's on commentary. I cannot do it.
It's weird because
I can't do it.
He's just yelling.
This is what shows you 4-man teams don't work.
No, they don't.
3 is hard enough, and listen, NXT it works perfectly.
There is a dynamic there
Yes.
that is just unquestionable. Vic is the in-between between.
Hey, he's just a straight call man. He's been in the business, knows wrestling moves.
Yep,
All
no,
right.
it's great. Vic,
And I'd like to say to all those people that were AEW fans that told you to listen to our show, if you have any comments and negative towards us, send it to our way on our Facebook page.
We got it.
We will
send
gladly
it to our
answer
Twitter.
to
We
you.
have that now.
And if you find us on Twitter,
Please
do
tweet
that
us.
too. Yes.
Or like I tell
We'll
people,
respond back.
if you're watching the videos on YouTube and you want to say something, drop it in there. Trust me, we will save it and talk about your comment.
All damn day. But anyway,
I
no,
check it
Jesse,
daily.
Jesse, the demon came out in one of the best ways possible.
Oh my God, yes.
Finn stayed serious. You can tell this is something that he still believes in. It's something that is perfect for Vince because it's an extra thing that makes him extra.
And I will say this, big ups to not only Paul Heyman, but the Usos. Because remember, when he comes out as a demon, at first he's just staring down Roman.
Yeah.
But then he looks at Paul who's like, don't
Nope.
want no part of
Nope.
this. And then to give the Usos credit, the people who cost him last week, they're like, yeah, we might have fucked up.
Yeah,
we want
nope,
no part of this.
yeah, nope,
we want
nope,
no part of this
nope,
shit.
we out.
Cousin, you got this one by yourself. We want no part of this
I was
fight.
saying
Bye-bye, Us.
triple threat at Extreme Rules, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Is this going to be a straight triple threat and nothing
No,
extra?
No. Here's the deal. The one thing that I think is going to be difficult, but WWE are the kings at, not to the smart fans who take it too seriously, but what they're the kings of is this is the prime example. If it is triple threat, this is how you make the demon lose without losing.
True.
This is how you make sure the demon, because remember, he's never lost as the
No.
demon. I think, did he once in NXT lose as the demon?
He lost the last match to Samoa Joe.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But
Yeah.
but here's the deal. This is
Or
how,
sorry, I think it was Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. This is how you protect the demon is by adding Brock Lesnar, because here's the deal. I don't care if it's Andre the Giant, I don't care if it's Big Show in his prime, I don't care if it's Victor Belfort who just had a great knockout this past night.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
care if it's any great athletic giant human being. Brock Lesnar's the best out because Brock Lesnar looks like a guy who could beat anyone.
He does.
I even said it in the lounge. Brock Lesnar is what a silverback gorilla would be if they found out they could tone themselves and work out in a gym.
Yeah. The aliens come down, take us to your leader. You got him. They'd be like,
And we're going to the moon.
we're gone. We're good.
There's a gas planet about 60 million light years the other way that we're,
That might be
we're
easier to
perfectly
beat.
fine going to. Mr. Lesnar, goodbye. Anyway, but no, Brock is...
He looks fucking scary.
Brock Lesnar is the ultimate out. Brock Lesnar gets you out of every situation because Brock is the most realistic thing left in wrestling.
Brock Lesnar has never intimidated me.
Until now.
I'm intimidated.
Until now. You want to know what was so funny to me? It wasn't what he was saying to Paul. It was watching Brock Lesnar's voice come out of a body that I've never seen come out of Brock Lesnar.
Right.
It
Yeah.
didn't fit, but at the same time, I'm like, that's Brock Lesnar. And Brock...
Holy shit, he talks again. It's been 10 years since I've seen him talk.
Brock looks like he's having as much fun as when when R-Truth came out in the Confederate outfit.
Let's be honest. When R-Truth came out before the Royal Rumble thing, Brock took the piss, as people would call, where he just died. Fuck character.
That was
R-Truth was
awesome.
so damn funny. He was just like, I got nothing.
And he goes,
I got
I want to
nothing.
work
You
with
know
you
what
again.
I want?
Yeah.
You know what I want? I want to put this R-Truth in the Attitude Era, and I want to see if he can make the American Badass break character.
I think he would have.
He might be able to do it.
He might have broken. Apparently, by the way, real quick, the story about that was Vince literally, he didn't tell Brock what Truth was going to say.
Yeah.
Just to see if Brock would take the piss.
Yep.
And he did.
yeah. And by the way, I don't think Brock cares.
Dude, he was so happy.
Brock,
Apparently, he told him backstage, we should work together more.
that was the most fun that Brock's ever had in a WWE ring.
There's a
All
reason
right.
No
R-Truth
question.
has now had a 20-year plus career. But I will say this.
In any company.
He's just great.
Yeah.
Listen, you got those two with Roman, Seth, Rey Mysterio at any point could get back into that. Like that title picture, Big E, I still consider him a part of the title picture now that he has that briefcase.
Oh, yeah.
Big E, like listen, that title picture on SmackDown is insanely fucking good right now. Like I think we're getting to like 2005 levels of good when it comes to that main event picture.
Oh yes.
And this is the first time Roman could actually lose that championship. It has been over a year.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
I'm not predicting
hinting?
yet,
Not predicting?
but I will say this: if my prediction of it turning into a triple threat is correct,
Yeah.
Brock or Finn will be champion.
Yes.
And one, because it protects Roman, because that's just a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Brock and the Demon, that's a lot to deal with.
That's a lot on your plate.
That's like
There's a lot to deal with.
that's like one of those things where, like, when Triple H would get into like a fatal four with Stone Cold,
The
Rock, and then you throw the Undertaker in, like, yeah, that's a lot to deal with.
There's a little bit of heat here. There's a smoldering wildfire about to happen.
There's one of those things. That's a lot on your plate. If you don't win, everyone understands.
Now, one of, if not maybe the best SmackDowns of the year. I would love to see the rating for it when it comes out. Jesse, Jesse, here's
the overnight numbers were 2.55.
which is fantastic.
So probably have to wait till Monday.
Originally it was reported 2.2, which is still a 3% bump.
Yeah.
And then the overnight ratings was a 2.55 overall.
Right.
So it was over. I think it was like 10% bump. I guess they're going to hit 3 million before November. I keep telling people that.
I hate to say
I think
this.
we should, yeah.
When
I think
Jericho
we should.
came out and said we were looking at Raw, he didn't say SmackDown.
There's a reason you don't say SmackDown.
That quote, Jesse, you remember that quote?
Yeah.
Was SmackDown mentioned at all?
No.
Raw was the show he was talking
You
about.
don't compete with Roman Reigns right now. It's a bad idea.
Which, by the way, leads us into another topic. But before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to say, and I'm done. That when you follow an AEW pay-per-view, the next week is full of so much internet BS. And today we're going to wade through it when we get to that. But here's the deal, folks.
Oh, my God.
Vince McMahon did not tell, quote-unquote, Selena Vega, yeah, it's 9/11, screw your dad, we're not going to put you on SmackDown. The show ran long.
Yes.
They could have cut this, they could have cut that,
Yeah.
but it's live television.
Yes.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, this is no offense to Selena Vega on a
And by the way, for people who don't know, technically they actually ran 2 hours of a show before SmackDown started.
Yes.
And then another hour after.
So
that it was a whole event.
Because that's what they do in Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
It's a 5-hour night.
Yeah, it's
in
a
Madison
whole
Square Garden.
event there.
So let me explain something. Yes.
That's why they usually only like to go to Madison Square Garden for one of their big four.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I said, Tia Trinidad, your father passed away in the World Trade Center. That is a horrible thing. I'm sorry you did not get a chance to perform the day before the 20th anniversary in the wonderful ring gear that you posted. But that's not WWE giving her the middle finger.
No.
It's live entertainment.
By the way,
happened.
she was featured in the tribute video heavily because of what happened. And
Yes.
because she always speaks so well about it as a New Yorker herself.
Yes.
Like, of course they didn't do that on purpose.
No, guys.
And I haven't watched. If you saw, they do have a new documentary out where they talk about what WWE did a few days after everything happened.
By the way, once again proving.
So she's going to be featured in that, I'm guessing.
That even I, at 2021, 22, 23, was wrong about Vince McMahon. Remember, they were told you don't have to do this show.
Oh, straight up.
Like, all of that. And he said, fuck that. I got to give people an escape, man. Like,
he knew it.
Yes.
I think he even said, like, I was willing to lose money just to give people that escape.
I
Like,
think the biggest thing, and this has never really been said, but it's been referred to. If Vince was in any other form of entertainment, he'd be a god.
Yeah.
He's a pariah because he supposedly picked Hogan over Flair. It got him to a bigger place.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have been a billionaire with Ric Flair. I don't.
I don't know. Yeah,
because I don't think Ric Flair was mass appeal. I don't.
And by the way, Hulk Hogan was a terrible actor, but he was right about Hulk Hogan overall, especially in the 80s.
Yes. He was perfect for that.
Not a great actor, but his charisma
Yeah.
and everything
Yeah.
in the wrestling ring
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
superior.
Helped to show what wrestlers could be outside
Right.
of the ring.
But what I'm saying is,
Even though you're fucking terrible at everything.
yes.
To Hulk Hogan.
But what I'm
At
saying,
least he has a
Brother.
hot daughter.
Well, not anymore.
no. Anyway,
All of Florida's been in that. I'm good.
fair enough.
That's true.
But my point is this, Jesse. Vince gets a lot of heat because he doesn't care about wrestling in the way that a Bill Watts did, in the way that, even WCW was trying to. He gets a lot of heat for that, but at the end of the day, the man is not evil intentioned on purpose.
No.
He's a businessman.
No.
He doesn't put his personal feelings into a lot of it.
No.
Maybe with Warrior, but Warrior made that personal.
So did Jeff Jarrett.
Yes.
So you can put that one on the list.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Jeff Jarrett made that personal.
Well, I made that note for that night, and I watched
Let me get my check. And then
the little preview of that documentary. I mean, boom, you had Triple H, you had The Undertaker, you had every big guy show up, and he said,
And you had
And
Vince
even Triple H
standing
and Vince
in a
there,
ring
too.
by himself, and he made the whole of Houston.
yeah.
yeah,
Stand
but when
yeah.
they went down to Ground Zero, seeing all them guys, I mean, it lifted the spirits of all those guys working down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Brought
would-
some of the biggest wrestlers' names in the world with
it would
them,
definitely
like-
lift my spirits. Like, these guys are coming down to support us.
I'll just say
and telling
this.
how proud they
Will
are of
I
us.
say-
Oh my God!
Will I ever sit here and defend Vince on everything? Of course not. I've been very, in my opinion, fair on the show that, yes, Vince is getting to a level where I think that the entertainment side of it has passed him by. I'm not denying that. I think a lot of people are now tired of it, not because of him, but because of the time. I think they want to go back more than they think. They want more of the old 70s.
I will say this.
60s and
I
70s.
think
as
so,
a
yes.
75-year-old man, what I think overall, and by the way, it's very, like I say all the time, it's very half and half, because the same guy makes the decisions for Raw that he does for SmackDown.
Yes.
And clearly wants a way better show. But, which, by the way, let's end this argument, people online, about them ending the brand split. That's why you don't do it. Clearly one suffers where the other one does not. So you don't end the brand split. Otherwise, it would feel like a fucking mess every week in WWE. But I
Oh,
will
yeah.
say this.
Yes.
One man is end all be all. He makes the top decisions. So it's easy when things are bad to blame him.
Yeah.
But like I said, you also got to be like, listen, I got to give this man all the credit in the world. All the
SmackDown
decisions he
has
makes
been
for
the
wrestling
best
fans.
thing in wrestling.
And just-
End of conversation.
And
Yes.
just the decisions
For
he-
over a year.
and just the decisions he makes for wrestling fans, and like I tell people, the fact that now in his 70s, I don't know how many times I've seen people when they run into Vince now have posted photos of him in the last 2 years with
Yeah.
him. He clearly gives a shit about you still.
Yeah.
Now, we might not always agree with his decisions.
No.
And things of that nature. But that's why I'm like, we got to stop painting him. And now, Nick Khan's a different thing. Shut the fuck up. He's spoken a little bit too much
A
recently.
little too much.
But the man is not pure evil. He's just not.
No.
And yes, maybe the 75-year-old is stuck in his ways at this point, and that's a little frustrating. I get it.
Yes.
But he does care about you.
And
Even
this-
if the
But
decisions
this is
aren't
my
the
point.
greatest.
As we enter into this pay-per-view that we're about to talk about, a lot of the internet craziness over the past week hasn't been everyone wants to sort of pretend like it is about AEW versus WWE. No, it's AEW versus Vince. You're mad at Vince. For what?
Yeah.
For what? For running a business? For understanding that, you know what? Sometimes the business supersedes what happens on camera?
Yeah.
What are you mad about? You're mad at a guy who, I hate to say it because I've said it 1,000 times, he's the reason you're watching this shit.
I keep saying like
He's the reason we're here.
like unless you're our good leader Leroy here, and you actually grew up with all those territories back in the day. Most of us as millennials, it's because of WWE you're into pro wrestling. It's because of Vince.
Well, and Cornette said this on watching some of the corny clips.
Yeah.
The way Vince and WWE do wrestling is different than the way AEW wrestles. You don't have to compete.
Yeah.
Literally, let AEW do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Hokey, whatever stuff that drives me nuts, and let the stuff the way I like it, WWE what it does. And everybody, oh, you're an AEW hater. I'm not a hater. I just don't like everything they do.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Dante and the Martin Boys
the
are
Martin
being
Boys, yeah.
featured on there. I'm glad Sierra got featured on there.
Yeah.
I'm glad JDX is getting featured on there.
Yeah.
You know, we got to meet. Hopefully, we'll maybe get to meet the boys, and hopefully get another interview eventually with JDX.
Yeah.
But great people. I mean, that's what I want to see.
And it's so
And they're
weird
doing it.
because, like, you know, it's one of these weird things. Like, and like I keep telling people, anytime people ask me, like, well, what would you do if you were in that writer's room? If you had a part of Vince's ear, like Bruce Pritchard, like John Laurinaitis, I would just be honest with him, like, dude, listen, we don't know how much time you got on this earth, but why don't we open the doors a little bit? You know you're not competing with them. They're competing with you. It is what it is. But let's open the doors a little bit. You want to know why? Because if you decide to actually work with other companies and them and still protect your wrestlers like he's done very, very well over these years, they'll see they can't hold a candle to you. Like they'll under and then they'll also
I hate to say this.
They'll also respect like, oh yeah, he actually does give a shit about
I really
us.
hate to say this, but if AEW, even as presently today, September 12th, 2021, constructed, if they had a joint show, I don't necessarily think that segment to segment, I don't think WWE wouldn't own them in quality.
Oh, they probably would.
Oh, definitely.
And that's not to say, because the problem with, because and we'll talk about it after we read the pay-per-view, because, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to get this out of the way. I have never seen a worse build-up, go-home show and a worse following show. And the Raw after WrestleMania this year was bad.
Which, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was inexcusably boring. Horrible.
But the Dynamite and Rampage before and after All Out. Oh my God! Could I have cared less? I'm serious.
They were pretty bad.
But anyway, no. It's just I'm done talking to people who are saying old man Vince is this, is that. Guys, you are hating on WWE for a guy who, yes, like Jesse said, has all the beat all end all everything is said about
He's the top decision maker.
But here's the deal. I hate to say it. Vince made his name on everything that isn't what NXT was becoming. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And I think that even Triple H maybe got a little clouded in that, Hunter, you wanted to be a wrestler's wrestler, but the smoke and mirrors of Vince and Titan Entertainment had a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not talking about you were married to the daughter and you were the son-in-law. They gave it to you. They covered up a lot of things. I'm not saying Triple H was like a quote-unquote, big guy who could wrestle but could never talk. Triple H could talk. I'm not taking away from the great status of Triple H, but
greatest heel next to Ric Flair. I'm just gonna say.
And that's fair. But Jesse, a lot of this business is the packages they put together, the promos they put together, and that's all Vince.
Listen, one thing you can't, and sometimes they're bad, but most of the time, one thing WWE does better than any wrestling promotion, but they should be able to. And to be fair, New Japan is mostly sports based, so they've never done this.
Yes,
or they don't do it in that kind of way.
Yeah,
is the fact that like their production value most of the time, is phenomenal.
I have a feeling based on what I've seen on TV, and I would still go to one. If we went to an AEW event, I feel like it would feel a lot more like a Ring of Honor taping. And that's not a shot at Ring of Honor. I've been at a Ring of Honor taping. It's a lot of fun. It's cool. It's a good time. But I said it on the show after I got back. I came back from SmackDown and I was like, this is not like a live event of WWE. This is not like any other company I've been to. This is something else.
Yeah. And like I said, it's been quite a few years since I've been to a WWE event.
Yeah. But
the last one I went to was a major pay-per-view. They just listen. When you go, you're like, Yeah, no, I'm a part. I'm in something big here.
Yeah.
Like,
if we could
For
make
that
it
2 to 3 hours,
Oh, I'd love to.
for that 2 to 3 hours, you forget about the wars. You forget about.
I will
you
say
forget
this:
about that.
I am still fucking mad though that they decided to cancel the U.S. Bank thing for WrestleMania and move it back down to Dallas. Fuck Dallas. Fuck they got cheated, by the way. You guys got cheated. I'm sorry. You guys got cheated.
Down.
But screw the Cowboys. Screw Dallas. Screw Jerry's World. It should be in Minneapolis. It's in March. It'll be warm.
Well,
more people will show up.
Yeah.
People will actually like coming here.
Yes.
Tom Brady says, "How about those boys?"
Yeah.
I actually,
Don't get me started.
I actually agree with the call, but there's
Yeah.
a reason why I would, and I'll say that later to Jesse on it.
Well, definitely, if
But
we
no.
can make it to an AEW show,
I'll do it.
we if we all three
like I
can
said,
make it,
I'll
we
go.
have to get you the same shirt that Zach was wearing at the SmackDown show. So all three of us can wear the same shirt.
That
and
bright powder blue,
stick
ladies and
out.
gentlemen of Darren
I mean, listen,
Corbin.
I
it stands
We
out.
will
I
definitely
plan
do
on
that.
buying that shirt from his site soon.
Yeah.
But I will say this:
Teespring.
I actually have my own creative shirt that I would like to wear to an AEW
That's
show,
fair.
and it just says, "If this show sucks, I'm gonna let the fans know." And I'm not
Yes.
gonna boo at the wrestlers
No,
or nothing
no,
like
no.
that. I'm gonna yell at the fans. And
Yep.
I'm like, "This is your fault. 'Cause
So
you are Daniel." It's funny. Daniel Bryan was a heel, and yet he was absolutely correct. Boy, are some of y'all fickle as hell. Just fickle.
okay, so now I have a question. Do we transition into the top 500, or do you want to talk about this pay-per-view?
Let's do top 500.
All right.
Before
So,
we have to
like
get into
I was
AEW.
saying,
All
Roman
right.
Reigns.
Because this is an easy transition. into
Roman
AEW
Reigns has
afterwards.
been the best thing in wrestling for damn near a year from the
Yes.
moment the Tribal Chief
Yes.
appeared at SummerSlam
And
last
what
year.
did they do to him?
Ladies and
Man
gentlemen,
number 2.
ladies and gentlemen, this year's PWI Pro Wrestling Illustrated's top 500. I think Dave Meltzer is now paying is now playing midnight duty at Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
He got to be on his
Kenny
knees there big
Omega
time.
for the second time was the number one. And Jesse, I don't think you've seen this because this was just a random comment that I read online, and no, it wasn't allowed. I just read it online. They said this might have been better than his year in Japan.
Well,
when he was
first
number
off,
one.
that's all bullshit. I like to actually give Kenny some credit before I snap on him as a human being.
because you used to
right. I actually used to be a huge fan of Kenny Omega.
the cleaner, not the wrestling
The
god.
cleaner, yes.
Apparently, I grew up, and he never did.
No.
No, that run in New Japan, thanks to Gato and creative there.
And Okada. We
well,
gotta give the Golden Boy some credit here.
Listen,
He carried him. We know that now.
He is the Japanese Rock. There's just
Yes.
There's no getting by it anymore. That's exactly what he is.
Yes.
He just makes everything great.
He can work a mid card. He can work the opening card. He can work the main event. We're all gonna watch because it's fucking Okada.
And it could be a 5-star match.
Yes.
That's how great Okada is.
Yes.
Trust me, I will drool on his knob, as people would say.
Yes.
He's great.
Yes.
But this run? Listen, so apparently they made him number one because technically, yes, he held titles in
Multiple companies.
companies.
In multiple countries.
in multiple countries.
But Jesse, quick question: the idea that strength of schedule came into play. Kenny Omega had a better strength of schedule than Roman Reigns.
No.
First of all, you're okay. If you want to argue Cesaro and Jay weren't at a huge level when they were facing Roman, you can try to make that. They're still better than anybody. Kenny was up.
But here's the thing. Unlike what happened to most of Kenny's opponents, Jon Moxley, like I said, doesn't count because he's one of their main eventers.
Yeah, exactly.
So of course he doesn't count.
John's in trouble already for Jesse. We'll get to that a little bit later. John's already in a lot of trouble.
Yes, he is. But every person that Roman has faced has elevated.
Yes.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what those
And
stories...
he beat them. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
They lost, and they're still elevated.
And yet...
Just like the elevation of the Heat in front of you, Jesse. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have
Damn,
the
he's good.
Haitian Heat hot sauce.
Damn, he's getting really good at this.
We are getting very good at this.
He's very good at this.
I'm getting good at getting interviews, and he's good at doing these things.
Oh, ladies and
Damn.
gentlemen,
Damn
Jesse's
right.
got
Continue, sir.
Jesse's got in front of him the 3 hottest sauces in the Haitian Heat line.
sir.
And let me tell you something, folks. It is an array of colors.
Yes, it is. So, we have the what's technically, it's kind of a pink hot sauce, but it's all natural flavors.
Yes.
Made from naturally. Because go ahead, continue.
And the coloring, it comes from the natural flavor
Yes.
of the bottles. Leroy's going to take a picture of all
Put 'em
three
up
bottles.
here.
Thank you.
Yeah, put them up here in front.
We're going
All
to get
three
all
of 'em.
3 bottles here. So, folks, this picture will be on our Facebook. This is not the base sauces.
No.
These are some of the hot sauces that are on there. If you go to
Correct.
Haitian Heat on Facebook, it'll explain a lot of the sauces.
Yes.
You're going to, but Jesse, this is the other problem that I have with a lot of other hot sauces that are on the
Correct.
market. The idea of a colored hot sauce is Frank's Red Hot. It's a
Yeah.
buffalo sauce.
Yeah.
It's that orange tint.
Yeah.
He's got one of them, but the seeds are still there, so there's a contrast.
Correct.
But the colors that we're getting here, Jesse, and you've obviously been through all these flavors.
Yes,
Heat
yes.
level champion. I'll be honest, I'm not there yet. I've tried them; they're still delicious,
Yeah.
but it's a bit much for me over a long period of a meal.
Oh, definitely
But-
cook your tongue a little bit.
yeah, there you go. But anyway, it's just Jesse. We're getting a very natural
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
from what we would get.
And people, as we talk about all the time with him, so Al is a professional boxer.
Yes.
So there are certain things he actually cannot have in his diet
During
because-
training camp.
because they can hurt him from being able to fight.
Yes.
So what he did was come up with sauces that even you, not even a professional athlete, can have that's actually naturally good for you.
Yes.
Great flavor and goes with really anything.
Yes.
You can marinate your food with it, and they actually home cook for lack of a better term.
Yep.
Prepare these sauces. And listen, for the price that you'll get them at, I mean, you really cannot go wrong.
Please go to their Facebook. There's a phone number on there.
Yes.
I spoke to Al. The Amazon store, a little more complicated than they originally thought. That's still on the way. They haven't tossed it out as an idea, but they're still
Yeah.
working towards it. But folks, look,
I'm going to have to let him know how Teespring and some other sites work.
yes.
I've heard Amazon can be a bit difficult.
Yeah. But I just got to say, folks, I mean,
I wish I had something to put it on right now. Oh,
Right.
God.
But I mean, it's just, folks. What you're gonna get is it's not gonna look like any hot sauce
No.
you're used to, because they've all come to this idea that hot sauces come in a uniformed color.
Yes.
The only way to have a hot sauce is it's supposed to look like a hot sauce. This doesn't look like a hot sauce. It
No.
looks like an energy drink.
It literally looks like it's supposed to be some sort of like fruity thing that you
Yeah.
would put.
Oh,
in-
My
Peppers
kids
are
would
fruit.
my
Peppers
kids
are
would look
fruit.
at that and
Yes,
they'd be
yeah.
like, "Oh,"
Al,
and they'd want to take the blue one.
oh yeah.
Al wants to make sure that not only do you get the flavoring and the heat if you like it, and the barbecue sauce, by the way. Holy god damn
Delicious.
it. I'm a barbecue sauce connoisseur. That's some barbecue sauce right there. Holy ball sack, is that some good shit.
And all naturally made.
yes,
so
no, 100%.
You're actually getting very good nourishment from the sauces.
Yes.
You're not just taking in calories and flavor.
No. But the thing about it is that Al wants you to get an experience that proves to you that this is what it's naturally supposed to be like.
Correct.
And you will get that experience with all of these. Jesse's going to take these home. I got them from Al, but Jesse's going to take these home.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Jesse's going to make sure that his sinuses are clear for the next year.
I promise you, I will be putting this shit
on
everything.
So anyway,
Oh, yeah.
now that I've had a wonderful transition,
Woo!
we're going to get back to this in the sense of
Son of a bitch, we're going to have to make a commercial where he just kind of transitions right into that.
we're going to
We could do it any time because he can good.
I think Al would love that.
yes.
Yes.
Plus the fact that he does that so well now, I'm actually very proud of him.
I
You
know.
did not expect that.
I
coming.
did not see that coming.
You didn't expect it coming until I gestured to the sauce.
Yeah, that was great.
You got nothing.
My next challenge is trying to get a sponsor and see how well he can do.
We're getting close with the way he transitions. That was great. Yeah.
We will
So
be
anyway,
good. Oh yeah.
back to the PWI 500. Jesse, in what universe other than not wanting to piss off the internet fans was Roman Reigns having a worse year than Kenny Omega?
Listen, so all their qualifications were they're the same as they've always been.
Yeah.
I just the last couple of years I have not understood it. Now last year I gave them a pass because it was tough to put anything
It
together.
was a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they tried.
Yep.
They tried to give credit where credit was due. I actually think Bailey was up there in the
She
in
was,
the
yes.
run last year.
Yes.
But it's like I said, I gave them a pass because how do you rate that?
Yeah.
You know, most of the world cannot do professional wrestling.
Yes.
And the ones that could, you were just grateful that you could watch.
Yes.
So this year, though, this is why I'm very big on somebody, and I get why Daniel did what he did, but I almost wish he would have forced Nick Khan's in their hands because the story came out that Vince basically told him if you want to go wrestle New Japan and go wrestle G1, I don't care.
Yeah.
Which is why he was trying to push Nick Khan to get. The problem was Nick Khan wanted an exclusive deal with New Japan.
Well, the other thing about it
do.
is that going back to professionalism, I hate to say this. In my opinion, Nick Khan and Vince tried to keep their wits about them in this deal, whereas, let's be honest, just to make sure Daniel Bryan came over, Tony Khan, Anthony over there, he probably just bent over and took it. He probably just said, whatever you want, New Japan will do it. And I don't blame New Japan.
He does that all the time.
But I don't blame New Japan for going with the people that said, do whatever you want, and we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Because, look, here's the deal. People find this as a negative to WWE. From a business standpoint, this is a positive because you know that Tony Khan probably just bent over and gave New Japan over a barrel because he knew he wanted. This is where Tony Khan falls short of Vince and Nick, in my opinion.
There's no doubt about that.
He
got
what he wanted.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
But behind the scenes, there's no way that you respect Tony as much as you do Nick.
But I will
Vince.
say that. Well, I there's no way I respect Tony as much as I respect Vince.
Yeah.
Nick, I'm still half and half on.
Yeah,
I really am.
I understand.
God damn it. But anyway, sorry. I apologize.
Hey, no, you're fine.
Christian, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I should
No.
never take the Lord's name in vain.
You're fine.
Nick Khan just upsets me every time he talks now.
He does. I know. I've seen you.
He reminds me of like Adam Gase from the former Jets coach. And every time that man used to speak, I'm like, I've never wanted to punch somebody in the face more every time they open their mouth. And Nick Khan's getting there. But I will say this. And I'm not usually a violent man.
No.
But on that I am.
Yeah.
I get why Daniel took the deal.
Yep.
Smart. It's only 3 years, by the way.
Yep.
He knows he's got very limited time, so he's trying to get all of it in now.
Yep.
But I do think my hope was Daniel Bryan has enough of a star power that if he would have continued to demand being able to work with other promotions, I think Vince would have definitely pushed for it more because his other wrestlers also want to do it too.
Well, but hold on. I said this a while back in the show, and it seems to be forgotten, not by you two gentlemen, but by a lot of other people. Vince is not against working with other people. They've worked with New Japan. Look, you don't think Vince had to sign off on Jushin Thunder Liger coming to the NXT TakeOver?
Oh, of course he did.
My point is this, especially because that was a Brooklyn one,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yep.
it was a Brooklyn one. But you have to make sure that when you show up, you have the same level of production. Because Vince is not going to sully his production for one night to work with anybody. That's
By
not
the
happening.
way, the funniest story coming out of that is, of course, Kota Ibushi was also there.
Yeah.
And apparently Vince went to go introduce himself, and Kota didn't have any fucking idea who he was. By the way, which just kind of shows the world they live in over there.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them actually don't know who the hell Vince McMahon
Right,
is.
yeah, exactly.
But, and like people were like shocked, but apparently he just made Vince laugh.
Yeah.
'Cause they were like, dude, that's the boss. What do you mean you don't know who he is?
Yeah.
But, like I said, I was hoping that with Daniel that we would kind of get a chance to actually see, like, okay, you know what? I'm not doing anything with the Kevin Owens, but you know what? Hey, Kevin, you want to go work with some of your friends in Impact? Go for it.
Yeah.
But you're still under my umbrella.
Yeah.
But understand if anything happens, it's under their insurance. Like, what?
Yeah.
Vince is very good at protecting himself, and I have no problem with that.
That's business.
That's business.
That's business.
You're
You're in the music industry. You and the bands have to protect yourselves.
You have to protect yourselves from BS.
Yes.
That way, nothing falls on you. If anything goes wrong,
If anything goes
someone
wrong,
else-
you can walk away.
Yes.
And it's the venue's fault.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we ended up getting that. But I will say this:
Number one and number
they
two.
fucked it up anyway.
We'll get to it in a
AEW has a part. And
We'll
I
get
know
to
we're
it
not
in a
getting
second.
into that
Yeah,
deal.
no, get to- no, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
while
Within-
Vince was not able to get this deal that he was hoping, so he could keep Brian.
Yeah.
By the way, that's going to take some time to get used to. Actually, calling his actual name again, Brian Danielson.
Yeah, Brian Danielson.
The American Dragon. Damn, he looks good.
Doesn't he? Mm-hmm. And they've already gotten bullshit all over him.
Well, you know this.
But anyway, back to this top 500. Some of our boys were in there.
Yes.
JDX was in there. Devon Monroe was in there.
Eric Cannon was
Eric
in
Cannon
there.
was in there.
Both Top Flight boys
Both
were in
top
there.
flight boys. Love to see those boys getting some recognition.
Oh, God.
Two just great competitors. But by the way, back to what I was saying to Jesse earlier. Jesse, number 3 and number 4.
Both Raw superstars.
So apparently people were watching Raw.
Hey, I looked at it. The top 20.
Yep.
7 WWE stars.
Oh yeah.
The biggest jump in the top 10.
Yep.
I'm just doing the top 10. Is Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
plus 41 spots
Hey,
from
your
last
boy
year
Rich
to this
Swann,
year.
top 10.
Rick Swann, yeah.
So,
Even though he
was
got
number
screwed
10.
by Omega.
So that was controversial to people because they're like, well, what has he done? But I'm like, dude, he was the first one who was okay with the storyline. That hurt him.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Like, it hurt him.
Yep.
But he was so open-minded about it that he was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Thinking he was going to be able to get on, help Impact grow their name by also going to AEW television.
And it doesn't happen.
Funny how that's only
Yeah.
now worked with the AEW talent who holds the Impact Championship now. By the way, but Christian will also he's representing that championship
Yes.
respectfully
Yes.
to be
Yes.
fair to
Mhm.
him.
So anyway, any surprises, Leroy, that you have for us? from
I
this
actually
top
do
5?
have one.
Go ahead,
Surprise?
I actually do
no.
have one.
Go ahead,
one?
Jesse.
The fact that Will Ospreay was actually still in the top 10, because for what people for as great as his year was going when he came back to New Japan, won the IW, he won the butterfly belt. I fucking hate that championship. I really do. Like, not the history of it, but that design. Like seeing Shingo with it, I'm like, guys, just give me like a new, different classic look. I hate looking at
It's
this.
going to be a long 3 days with you. I just know it's going to be.
Because they're not going to change it probably for another year.
I also want to point something out. I am actually working on getting Allison out of the house for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Jesse and I are just going to live in my apartment for 3 days.
I hope your neighbors
Wow.
forgive me when I see that championship, because I might go off. Every time I see it, I'm like, it's so ugly.
We're gonna be going to bed at like 3 a.m, waking up at noon,
Woo!
and just showering. It's gonna be a long couple.
It's going to be a long couple days.
It's gonna be a long weekend.
But it's going to be filled with great pro wrestling.
Oh, it's gonna be a great 3 days.
But the fact, and then he,
Leroy's gonna Leroy's gonna see us almost like halfway through that. We're gonna be like, oh God.
He's gonna be like, did your boy shower? Goddamn.
If you guys are that bad, I'm gonna have a bottle of Febreze. I'm gonna spray you both down, so you don't
It's gonna be.
make me
Disinfect us
die
by the time
over
we come
here.
back.
Oh, it's gonna be a good time.
Oh, it's gonna be a good day.
I do have some good bleach cleaner. I can tell you that
You might have
first,
to bleach us before we
and
do
then
the show.
free breeze you.
But anyway, you were saying.
But people don't know that Will actually only had the reign for 3 months, and then he had the unfortunate neck injury.
Yeah.
So he was actually gone most
I
of this
think he has
time.
a chance to have a great year with this gimmick he's currently got, where he'll defend it anywhere but New Japan.
Yeah.
But again, that just started.
Yes. And by the way, it gives a new, really interesting element to strong. New Japan's just killing it again.
Yep.
They always hit these weird lulls.
They do.
Where it's just like,
They do.
It's like, what's going on, guys? Like, this is not your best booking, and then they're right back to it.
Yeah, no.
But
Their outlook for the next year is phenomenal.
It looks phenomenal. Even like when people saw the original G1, and I know we'll talk about that on a different show. The listings, I was like, you know what though? I'm telling you, the stories right now going into the G1 are insanely interesting.
If Yano doesn't win, I riot. Anyway,
I think everyone that's not in Japan will actually be pissed off if Yano doesn't get to the top 3. But
he's in it again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in the G1 again.
You know what? If a guy has ever had a more successful career in comedy wrestling, I don't know who it is.
It's got to be Yano.
He's in every major tournament. He's actually won a couple of the tag tournaments.
Yes, he has.
And I hate to say it, he's been arguably the biggest spoiler in the history of the
Yes,
G1.
he has.
He really has.
Every year.
Every year, Yano spoils somebody's
He
run in the
ruins
G1.
some favorites G1
Oh, God.
by just being Yano. Yano
Never
changed.
Please
Oh,
do.
yes.
Yeah, I was actually shocked at that because I'm like, he was actually gone most of this time.
Yeah.
He just came back recently.
Yep.
Happy to see him back. Happy he's healthy.
So glad.
But yeah, I was like, that was actually shocking to me because I would thought, with all the time that he missed, you're like, I can't do it.
But now I can say this. First of all, Drew and Bobby, despite the fact that maybe we went on one match too long, they had a great year. They really did.
Drew McIntyre, it's weird to say this about a guy who's been killing it now for over 2 to 3 years now.
Yeah.
I have felt so bad for him these last year and a half though, because he basically carried a main wrestling show on his back.
Oh yeah, through a pandemic
without fans.
Yeah.
And was still entertaining, and yet, they almost had to do the rule where he couldn't challenge Bobby Lashley again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, until recently, that was Bobby's probably only real challenger.
Yeah.
And so like it's been weird. Like you actually feel bad for him because you're like, well, damn. Like
now, okay, I have to ask you, Jesse, because it's been brought up on a couple of platforms recently. Not in any way am I taking a shot at Kofi's reign as WWE champion. I liked it more than most. Other people said it was blah. What has it been like to watch Bobby, who has been almost the complete opposite in the sense that this is the strongest a pure African-American champion has looked in a wrestling company, maybe ever?
Well, first off, hopefully this finally kills the whole like Vince doesn't believe in black champions.
Yeah.
Because Bobby has looked strong as shit.
And even in the moments when
I love him.
And even in the moments where they've brought him back down to earth to build the matches end with him on top and dominant as ever.
When's the last time on WWE television at all have we ever seen Bill Goldberg destroyed? Rarely.
By the way, Vince may be also changing people's opinions. He was willing to destroy a part-time legend clean just to build up Bobby Lashley.
Destroy his son.
Yep.
Like I mean, like I don't know what else you want. Like, by the way, this is a guy that, by the way, I'm happy he's still in fantastic shape for 44.
Yeah.
Because this probably should have happened 12 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I agree.
But
They should have, yes.
But I also think that Bobby going to MMA, going to the Indies, working with MVP without the WWE umbrella, it helped develop the almighty personality. Because here's the deal: I think Bobby as a face, I get it. Okay, as much as I love our wonderful men and women in uniform, the whole military gimmick thing, it was kind of okay for a bit there. But it's not better than this. No, it's not better than the Almighty.
The only bad thing that they've ever done with Bobby is that they broke up the Hurt Business too early. That was it.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
That was it. Because if that faction was still together, clearly they would be the best thing on Raw.
But I hate to say it, even with that blemish, Bobby didn't get anything on him.
No.
Bobby,
he lost nothing on
No. He did not.
He was in the latest Stone Cold podcast.
That is one of the best interviews Stone Cold has done
I actually
yet.
haven't watched that yet.
Okay. I don't know what it was about this.
Definitely.
But for how
Great.
awkward and bad the Dean Ambrose one was, this is the 180 of it.
Like I said, the one with Dean Ambrose was awkward and bad because Stone Cold called him out on his bullshit.
True.
And I just don't think he was, seriously,
Yeah.
I don't think he was ready for that.
Yeah.
Because I think Stone Cold saw what I always saw in John Moxley.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm seeing through your bullshit right now.
Yeah.
And I need you to see through your bullshit because you can be better. Basically, I think Stone Cold saw what we saw. You should be a better version of me.
I also hate to say it, but the same people who are right now on the Mox bandwagon for how big he's been since he debuted at, I think it was All In.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Or Casino Battle, or the Battle Royale, whatever the hell
These
it's
are
the
called.
big ass chip.
These are the same people.
Yeah.
These are
That's what they should. Sorry,
Yep.
that's what they should call it.
Yep.
Welcome to AEW's big ass chips.
But here's the deal. These are the same people who are on the Mox bandwagon that thought the Dean Ambrose run with the WWE title was bleh, and that wasn't anyone's fault but Dean's.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hate to say it.
It was actually. I told people, I'm like, it was actually the right decision to have AJ turn heel and take that title off. Of him.
It was.
That was actually the right decision.
So anyway, are we all right, Leroy? Leroy, we're gonna go to you before we get to it because I'm not gonna be able to do anything else after this. Leroy, your day in wrestling history. What do you got for us?
All right, we got a couple
If
things
you would like
here.
the rest of the PWI Top 500, it is obviously online.
Yes.
Wonderful list of men and that had a great,
By the way, once
great
again,
year.
congrats to JDX.
Yep.
Congrats to Eric Cannon.
Yep.
Because I
Devon.
mean, listen, these are
Devon, the boys in Top Flight.
these
We
are
love
guys
them.
from our area.
Yep.
Who have been working their ass off even through this, and are getting the recognition.
And
they
I hate to
deserve.
say it, they're getting. And I don't hate to say this because of where they're getting it at. They're getting great exposure on Dark. I hate to say it's on Dark because not even Dynamite gives a shit about Dark. But anyway, go ahead, Leroy. Today in wrestling history, what do you got?
Today, well, unfortunately, got one or two sad things. Unfortunately, 29 years ago, we did lose Chris Von Erich.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
That
he was only
family-
21.
That family.
Tragic family at that time.
family
Ugh.
Fucking curse.
That family is the Kennedys if the Kennedys are the most cursed family in politics, the Von Erichs are the most cursed family in wrestling.
So cursed.
And then 21 years ago...
First family of Texas wrestling, though.
Yes, it was. 21 years ago today, Sting defeated Hulk Hogan to win the WCW Heavyweight Championship. The very interesting thing about that one, that will give Sting his 6th and final WCW title.
I'm so old.
Yeah. That was 21 years ago.
You watched that live, didn't you?
I watched that live with my dad.
You
Yeah.
did.
As
Yep.
a kid.
That's right.
I am so old now.
How do you think Leroy feels?
You know what pissed me off? And I'll let you finish after this.
Yeah.
So, one of the big pop culture things recently was Steve from Blue's Clues kind of made that video recently.
Yes.
And I actually teared up, and then I was like, how fucking old am I? And I'm like, this guy has not been on Blue's Clues in like 16 years, went out and made a life for himself.
Yep.
He comes back, he does that video, like, man, I missed him. What the hell is wrong with me? Like, damn,
Yeah.
I'm old now.
Okay.
I just find it,
Continue.
You know
I just
what?
find it strange that he left on a bus shortly after the start of the Afghan War, and as soon as it ends, he's back. What kind of military secret underground shit was Steve from Blue's Clues doing?
Oh, listen, man.
he was finding clues for against the Taliban.
I kept telling people he's the real life James Bond. That's what he is.
It has to be.
You want?
He was finding clues on the Taliban for years.
That
Yeah.
man's a murderer.
You card to Blue Clues, watch a Beautiful Neighbor with Tom Hanks being Fred Rogers. Yeah, that's all I got
I
to say
mean,
about it.
if he was still alive and he was just like, hello, neighbor, I would cry and I
Yes.
wouldn't be able to finish the damn
It's like,
video.
come here, Fred. Come here, Fred.
All right, Leroy, what else
Last
you got?
one,
Yep.
we have to. It's unfortunately he's not with us.
Yep.
But today would have been, if I figured it right, would be the 63rd birthday of Hawk of the Road Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
It was his birthday today
Reunited in heaven,
with his brother.
arguably the most, and I'll say this correctly, arguably the most over tag team of all time.
Yes.
Yeah, they're whooping
Greatest.
somebody's ass up there.
They're kicking everybody's ass. up there.
Somebody's taking a doomsday device right now.
Yeah. Arguably the most over tag team ever. The pops they got,
Oh
they
my
were in their own category.
Just
CM Punk was obviously a step above on Rampage. We know that.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of wrestlers, even who have been successful, who would have sold their soul for one Road Warrior pop.
Yeah, it was insane, dude.
And that was in the middle of their fame. They would have sold for that
I mean,
kind
hell,
of pop.
near the end of their career, the
They were still
pops
getting it.
they were
It was-
getting
oh,
was,
God.
all their pops, his interview.
The legendary
just
Hawk's voice.
when you hear, oh, what a rush, and then
Yeah.
what Ellie said in his interview all the time. Oh, well,
Yeah.
he
They-
did that all.
they-
I did not do as well as him,
Yeah.
of course, but hey,
they were special, and God, what a just great people.
If
I-
there was one thing I think a lot
Hawk
of
had his demons, but they were great people.
I think what a lot of the younger wrestlers learned from those guys was it's still a show, and the problem is it's the only person who's ever got to close to the reaction they used to get was The Rock, and after him I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just glad I got to watch them. Oh, God, I got to
but here's
watch
the deal,
them.
though.
I
Here's the-
love that.
They were so over. It's not hard to find their old footage.
No,
That's how over they were. You could still easily find old.
But I'm proud to
Old
say I got to watch them.
LODs.
I got to watch them live
And by
That's
the
fair.
way,
on TV. Oh,
By the way,
love
go
it.
to hell, my friend. Because by the time I was finally being able to take them to wrestling shows, they actually had mostly retired.
Yeah.
Or they weren't working as
Yeah,
much
yeah,
as they
yeah,
used
yeah.
to.
What?
Yeah.
I watched them when they were young, and when Ric Flair was less flabby,
But they worked almost every promotion you can think of back then too.
and they worked up here in Minnesota, which
Yeah.
was really great. I love that.
I mean,
Oh,
just
gotta love it.
they're missed so badly. As we end this, love to their families.
Yep.
Including John, I guess.
I think a couple weeks ago was Paul's birthday too.
Yeah.
I think it was a couple weeks
Yep.
ago. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so now.
Who's still with us?
Yes, he is.
So now.
Daughter doing great things in Impact right now.
Yeah. So now we are moving on to the biggest news of the week, of the month, of the fall.
I don't mean to interrupt you again. I feel like Rachel Etherlin could technically be your future wife's big sister. Like she kind of looks like her a little bit.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And if she was, you are really screwed if you screw up.
Yep. Yep. But anyway, it is now time for our official review of All Out 2001 AEW. I'm going to use your Christian name because you gave me a solid pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that away. However, it is still AEW, so welcome to our segment, The Good, the Bad, and the Really Ugly. First of all.
And we're not referring to us.
Exactly. First of all.
For once.
I was not lying, and I will do this in order.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody care about this pay-per-view after Dynamite and Rampage the week before? They were bad go-home shows. They were actually not good. I don't know what is...
By the way, it was
why,
worse than some of WWE's recent back go-home shows. It was just like, what is this?
Why does AEW think, and I don't hate these boys, I love them as Ever-Rise, and I'm glad they're getting fame in S2.0. Why are they in, not just everything, but why are they in the biggest return in 7 years? That was weird. It didn't fit.
No.
You couldn't have... I think we talked about it last week. You couldn't have used... I don't know, anybody else in the main event scene to try to get Punk some heat?
This is definitely a Tony Khan call, and I can tell you why. Because this is, well, here's the thing. Because it's not even about 2.0. You know who the real guy they're trying to build here is Daniel. What the hell? It's Daniel something. The third guy that they're with. The smaller guy. Daniel something. Damn it.
Daniel Garcia.
Thank you. Great technical wrestler.
Yes.
Still a little young in the ring.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of, you almost see it's weird. It's weird to bring up this name.
Yeah.
You see a lot of Perry Saturn in him.
I agree. I can see that.
Where it's a lot of technical, a lot of physical, even for his size.
Yes.
Now I'm hoping for his sake, he kind of builds a little bit more muscle mass.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when the bigger guys are starting to throw him around a little bit, you're like, yeah, dude, you kind of look like a kid.
Yeah, a little bit.
But this is mostly about him. Because otherwise, while I think they like 2.0,
Yeah.
and I'm happy for formerly known as Ever-Rise,
Yeah.
I don't think they would be on this level.
No.
But because they have, and I get why,
Yeah.
in the ring, there's just something there. There's something about him as a heel telling stories about how he can it's very Zack Sabre Jr. to me. Like, just a lot of reminiscence of when Zack was coming up.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, what the hell is this tiny dude gonna, he's gonna break your fucking limbs. Okay, I get it.
Right. You know, did you see the 10-man tag? I did not.
We're not talking about the pay-per-view just yet. We're talking about the Dynamite and the Rampage leading up because
I'm just wondering because I never found it.
So yeah, it was on the buy-in or whatever.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was
okay.
It just
it was
Dave get it.
Anyway, before
Dave
we
get
to
it
the
3
pay-per-view,
stars.
and then Rampage.
Hold on.
I don't. Oh wait, that's right. Hold on.
What?
Yeah, Dave get it 3 stars.
We'll get back to that. Please
We'll get to
continue.
that in a second. Jesse, I know
it's Dave.
Rampage will never live up to the hype of CM Punk's debut.
Probably
But the sad part about it is that this show, as an hour, sadly, I think instead of doing what it did the first couple of weeks, where it allowed AEW to be on TV, show what they did, but not expose it for too long.
Yeah.
Sadly, now they've put themselves in such a tiny bubble. It's all on display what they do wrong.
Right.
It was just what was this show? And this is the one before. This is your go home show before the biggest pay-per-view of the year?
It's so funny. So I told people recently who because what I said, of course, before the show was, I got a friend, so I told him to just kind of find a way to let me see it afterwards because I went to a movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
By the way,
It's a great movie.
What did you
go see Ryan Reynolds, free guy.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
It was
Okay.
excellent.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Very funny.
I've heard
the kids
that, yeah.
will love it. Kids
Yes.
will love it.
Yes.
They're looking for it to sing.
I preferred that because in my mind I was like, I don't want to watch 4 hours of this bullshit. I need to work my way into 4 hours of
Now,
this bullshit.
I'm going to say off the top, this is the highest I've ever rated a pay-per-view for them. I gave it a solid 4. There in no way
we
was
disagree. I actually gave it a 4.5.
I can't go that high, and I'll explain why when we get to the
Okay.
review, but I couldn't I couldn't for the life of me see where people said it was a 5 out of 5. It was not a perfect show.
No.
In no way. So now,
3.75.
fair enough.
Okay.
We're going to get to this. So, the match, the night opened on the buy-in, which was the 10-man tag. Nobody cared. I don't know why we had it. Dave Meltzer gave it a 3. It didn't deserve a 1.
So now that we're on this,
Yes.
this man used to be the most incredible. Like his
Well respected, mind you.
it was basically gospel when he used to speak.
Yes.
I'm telling you, back in 2010, whatever he said, you were like, dude, that's gospel. We got to go off of that.
Because the PWG crowd, you guys follow the Wrestling
Yes.
Observer very closely.
A lot of us have met Dave.
Yes.
We were like, yo, if that's what he's hearing or that's what he thinks, damn, let me watch it again,
Yeah.
because his perspective to us was gospel. Besides being bitter towards WWE, I don't know what has happened to him in the last 5 years. How does this get a 3? How does this get a 3?
Prepare yourself. I have a list of his ratings for every
It was a
single one.
nothing match.
It was, well, not only that, but it was clunky. That's the only word that I can use for it. Am I wrong? Or is
No!
No, it was clunky. It was off-putting. It was weird.
I've given it a 2.5 at best. Because you know what? It didn't bore me. There you go.
Like
All
I
right.
said,
Just wait.
No, hold on. I'll say it didn't deserve over a 1 because it not only was barely built, it had no place on their biggest
You know
show.
what, Dave? And this is why Dave, to me, has lost a lot of our respect. Back in the day, he would have saw this match and be like, I'm not even going to rate it. It was there. It wasn't bad. Whatever.
Yeah.
And he would have moved on.
Yeah.
Because it was a nothing burger.
All right, so now on to the main show.
Fucking 3.
We're going to start with an El Steen rule because Miro and Eddie got this. This was good. I liked it.
Yes.
Eddie was great. Miro was good. When Miro just decides to be a badass, he's good.
I just need Eddie to stop being so damn bitter all the time. That's all I need.
Yeah, but see, that's why I couldn't 100% say. I say El Steen because overall the work was good,
Yeah.
but it's just Eddie is bitter about something that never happened, and I don't get it.
He was there. He was going to be a coach. He was going to work in NXT. He decided he didn't want to be a coach. That's fine because he still feels like he has a lot in the tank.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he's fucking bitter over there, and I don't get it. I'm with Bubba at this point. From Bubba Ray, who of course has his show.
Busted
on
Out.
Sirius
Busted
XM.
Out on
Yep.
XM.
I don't
Yep.
understand it. Like Bubba said, I try to not let it take me out of what he does because a lot of his work in AEW is actually very, very, very good.
Yes, I love Eddie.
But sometimes
yeah.
it just because I watched this match and it was phenomenal because they get it.
Oh yeah.
And yes, like I said,
I still agree that Miro can't get himself over on the mic or doesn't know how to get to that next level,
you
but
know
he's
what?
still a beast.
I will say
yes.
this: the whole Redeemer thing I actually enjoy more because the lines are just ridiculous, but they're funny. First, I will beat you, and then I will go home and I will redeem my wife's booty. To me, I find it fucking hilarious.
It's great, yeah.
But otherwise,
I'd redeem that. Yeah, myself.
because
Well,
when he
hold on.
first came into AEW,
Well,
I'm like,
hold on. Someone has to do it because ain't nobody gonna redeem her a check to wrestle again.
oh, that's for damn sure.
But anyway,
That's
no. Match was good.
yeah,
I enjoyed that too myself.
The
Yes.
problem is, it was good, but it wasn't AEW. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's actually a good
also,
thing.
what I'll say is
It was good.
They actually didn't give them enough time. This ended pretty damn abruptly.
Yes.
No,
Well, number 2 was
4
Mox.
stars.
4-star
That's
match,
fine. That's
which I'm
fine.
fine with because
That's fine.
Because in a bubble, it's a 4-star
Yeah.
match.
It
In a
is.
bubble,
I
it's
thought it was good.
on an AEW pay-per-view, it's not. But in a bubble, it's a 4-star.
It
match.
was a
The
great
next
match.
was John Moxley versus Kojima.
Yes.
Now, Kojima, who was the last Japanese guy that Mox had?
Before Kojima
Yeah.
was son of a bitch. Not Tenkai.
No.
Another one of their. It'll come to me.
Yeah, okay.
It'll
Anyway,
come to me.
This was another good match because John can work when he works the.
When he works New Japan style recently,
Yeah, so
besides
it's
the
very good.
deathmatch stuff, it's his best work. Now, outside of God rest his soul, Brody Lee, he doesn't. To me, he doesn't have a lot of great matches with AEW wrestlers. He just doesn't. I actually think him and Kenny don't really have a lot of chemistry. But I will say this.
Nagata.
From me, thank you. Yuji Nagata, a fucking former 4-time New Japan fans, forgive me.
Yep.
next time, if I ever make it to a New Japan show again, he can slap me in the. I mean, he'll knock me out. So he can ball shot me. Because I still want to watch the show. I still want to watch the show. If he ball shots me, at least I can watch the show. If he smacks me, I'll die.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I understand about the ball shot. It's not good.
But anyway, no.
But right.
Okay, good match.
Yeah. Good match.
I
Yes.
would recommend it for people.
Oh yeah,
John, this is why WWE wanted him, because they saw this potential.
Yes.
The problem is he loves the death match.
Yes, he does.
And I enjoy a good death match, but if you can make money doing something that ain't death match, do it.
There's a reason guys like The Undertaker, like we don't even have to get into it again, but there's a reason these guys with that certain style lasted for 25 plus years.
And
Now,
you know what's fun?
I
Dave,
hate to say it.
4 stars. Dave gave
No
it.
problem.
Yeah, I hate to say it. Then came the first debut of the night. It was too much. It was too much after what had just gone down in that match.
Okay.
It was too much.
I do agree with that.
I will say this. Holy goddamn. Never in your life will a 5'10" man look more intimidating than that.
Minoru
I do agree with
Suzuki. So I've always said I usually fear no man, except for Minoru Suzuki.
If Minoru Suzuki was in charge of getting the vaccine taken care of, we'd have 100% vaccination.
The world would be
vaccinated.
100%.
Hey. Oh shit!
Because all he would do is come up to you, say something in Japanese, maybe you don't understand, but when you look in his eyes, you know what he's saying is "do it, or I will fucking kill you." And you're like, no, sir, I'm going. You don't have to tell me twice.
You might not get to the twice. You might not get to the twice.
Because before he gets it out the second time, you may be on the ground.
Yes.
But
yes.
Listen, man,
we'll get to what happened.
Minoru Suzuki. The fact that you were able to get him into an AEW ring to me, and we'll get to what happened on AEW.
I will actually
I give him props for that, yes.
I will give Tony props.
I was actually for sure he would be on WWE UK television first.
Yep.
I was wrong, and I'm okay with being
It's
wrong.
all right. Anyway, the next one was for the AEW Women's World Title. Once again, Kenny Omega, you stupid motherfucker. Why is this on before the Battle Royal for the #1 contender? The formatting was so bad. This is why I can't go 0.5. I literally took away 0.5 for just formatting. I had to. I had to. But anyway, okay, now the positives. Britt, right now, she gets it. She's great. I love me some Britt Baker. She's so good.
Yes.
She took a shitty first night as a heel with the wind blowing in her hair on a boat, and she has made it work.
Yes.
The only problem is, and I said it after Becky's contract signing, WWE's at least doing a better job in turning Becky heel, because AEW is sadly just letting the fans do what they want. Vince and everyone, they're actually fucking with your emotions.
Yeah.
Becky's better right now because Becky is actually trying to work the heel gimmick, whereas they're just saying, Britt, be yourself, and whatever happens, happens. So it doesn't really make sense.
Well, they're saying be a heel, but they're not really committing to making the fans boo all the time. And to be fair, there's not a lot of baby faces. And I mean, Chris Statlander is probably the one baby face, but what did I say before the show? I said they screwed up because this was the right woman outside of Thunder Rosa to beat her for that championship, but they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't do it. Because you booked yourself into a corner where you can't actually have Chris Statlander win. Which, it's weird. I would have personally gave this match I almost wanted to give it a 5, but I also thought it went too long.
A little bit.
To me, it's once again.
I loved Chris in this though.
Yeah.
Jesse, I will 100% take it from you. She is so much better than when she left.
Yeah.
She has taken a lot of the green out that she had when she first got here.
And like I said, I think that the last knee injury let her know, if you keep going crazy, you'll run out of wrestling time very quickly.
Your bump card is much less when you just choose to try to get that cheap pop.
And I think she really, God bless.
Yeah,
Trick's not dead. But
I'm still shocked Mick Foley had the career that he did. He is not human to have the career he did.
How many times do we have to tell you? Foley is God.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
After this match, again, great match. Loved it. Britt went over.
Yep.
Should have. What was the rating on that?
4 stars.
I could see it. I'm okay with it. I wouldn't have gone.
I'm okay with it.
It was just long.
I personally went to a 3.5 because it went too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Andrade interview was meh. It made no sense. I don't know why we were there. And hold on.
This was the first negative on the show.
Now hold on. The other part about this is
kinda whiny.
this interview was actually made worse with what happened on Rampage, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Well, that's the whole thing. This was supposed to be on the show.
Yeah.
And they pulled it. Now, they say they pulled it because Pac couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Pac apparently has been in the States this whole time. Why the fuck did you pull this? Why couldn't that stupid 10-man be on Rampage?
That would have been a lot better.
To be fair, Jesse, no one would have cared about the 10-man either way, so I don't really know.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. But
That's
anyway,
why he put on Rampage.
People actually cared about Pac versus Andrade.
Now we get to not the greatest cage match of all time, but one of my favorite looking cages.
It was great.
My favorite looking cages.
Yeah.
The cage looks great.
That was kind of a neat cage because they still
a
had
very nice cage.
They had a little bit of leeway on the outside, which is
hey, I
got to
give them credit.
Yeah, no, it was a great cage.
You want to know why? This looks way better than it did when they had Cody versus fucking.
Oh God,
that cage looked terrible.
Yep,
it didn't look stable.
Cody
Cody probably should have died.
That's true.
The Lucha Brothers were great in this. Sadly, the Lucha Brothers were the only team that sold anything. The first half was actually good.
Yeah.
Then it became a Bucks match. A loaded shoe. Who throws a shoe, honestly? A loaded shoe. Okay, I hate to say this. The one with the black hair. Is that Matt? I always get them mixed up. Okay, Matt Jackson, in my opinion, even with a loaded thumbtack shoe, which, by the way, was once again a shout-out to a past spot they had in a completely different company.
I'm going to let you finish, and then I'm going to let you speak.
Okay.
And then I'll exploit my... Because this was the worst fucking thing to me on the show, actually.
But anyway, once again, this was... Matt Jackson is the least intimidating human being on God's green earth. I am not intimidated. That man could have
Are you sure?
Well, we'll take it to later.
Because Nick does not look that fucking intimidating either.
That's
but
true.
Continue.
But then,
neither one of them.
I'm going to enjoy your food as he talks.
What?
Clara made that. Help me make that.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's wonderful.
Yeah, Oreo cookie.
What were these camera shots? This was the most schizophrenic
I don't know either.
camera shot. Go to this camera. Go to this camera.
Kevin Dunn would actually be very proud.
He would. He would. It was that bad.
It was that bad.
It was a good result, but my question is, why? Look, I was happy for the Lucha Brothers. They had a great entrance, by the way. Love the entrance.
Yeah.
That was badass as hell.
Oh yeah.
But my question is, why the Lucha Brothers? When you had tried to build so many... Look, here's the deal. Not that the Lucha Brothers don't deserve to be national American television champions.
Oh, yeah.
But they were not the team that you've been building for the last year. They were not a team that needed to get built.
Nope.
They did not
They were not
need
the number one
win.
contenders.
No.
No, they weren't.
No, they weren't.
No.
No, they weren't.
That's why I was like...
No, they weren't. Don't give me that bullshit.
Like I
they
said,
weren't.
when you two are done talking about it, I'm going to get into this match.
The moment with his daughters, though, for Pentagon
Beautiful.
Jr., that is why they do this.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I give this a 4. Was it the greatest cage match of all time?
No.
Was it the 5.75 out of... By the way, funny story. In this match...
5.75.
Hold on a second. In this match, apparently Dave is saying 5.75 out of 5. Dave, I thought the star rating went as high as you wanted. So wait a minute. Why is it 5.75 out of 5 if that 5 can go to like a million? So I don't understand what that was about. Was it a 5-star match? No, because like I said, it turned back into a Young Bucks match halfway through, and I'm like, you had me. You had it. But watching them decide to be themselves, it is so off-putting. I don't know how you can't see it. I don't know how people can't just get away from this.
I don't know.
I don't understand how you can watch a Young Bucks match, watch the first half of this, and go like, damn, they selling, they making moves, they're actually like whole. Like that was what the Bucks are capable of, and then it turns back into their own jerk-off session. And I'm sorry for kids that might listen. That's what it was.
That's exactly what it is.
What
I do.
was
I agree.
the second half of this? Why did the Lucha Brothers become the team that finally took the belts off when they weren't the number one? Sorry, Leroy, they were not the number one tag team.
I know.
in
That's why I
AEW.
said that.
And also, why I hate to say this. I agree they should be tag team champions in America. I'm not taking that away from him. It was a beautiful moment with his daughters.
For those who cannot watch live, I'm while I'm agreeing, I'm being very patient.
But I just want to point something out.
Yes, I am.
Why did the Lucha Brothers, who 3 years ago, even before AEW, decided to take time off as singles competitors shortly after Lucha Underground closed down?
Correct.
And try to become the best tag team that they could.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they need this at your biggest show? This doesn't build a new star. Once again, you're not building stars because they're already made.
Yeah.
Lucha Underground made them. They made themselves.
Yeah.
They're not needing this.
No.
Not at the biggest show.
Nope.
So, I can't give it a 5. I'll give it a 4 because it was one of the better young. It's probably the best Young Bucks match that I've seen. Sadly, it proves that they need a gimmick to get over with me.
I can't give it a 4 either.
They do. I'd give it a 4, but I can't go higher. Now, Leroy, do you have anything to say before Jesse is done being patient?
I kind of agree with you. I mean, when I was watching the first part, I'm like, yeah, it was good. But
the loaded shoe was the end.
The loaded shoe, I was
fucking
like,
Brandon Cutlet. I'm sorry. The other pasty white meat.
I was just like,
you mean Brandon Cutler?
Okay,
fair enough.
There we go.
But
the shoe, I'm like, what the hell is the point of that?
Jesse will explain that in a second because it is it was the Rock something. The Rock.
I'll explain that stupid fucking.
Okay.
All right.
So anyway,
yeah.
But I mean, and towards the end, like you said,
then he
when
wrestled on it. But
the hokey crap. But I really
why did they have to ruin it with the bag? Why did they have to ruin what was? Here's the deal: if they had continued that first half and it had ended with what they had done in the first half, and they honestly take the shoe out of it, take the camera angles out of it, if they had just done everything else but the shoe and the hokey weird shit, I would have given it a 5.
Well,
I would have had no choice. It would have been a 5-star match.
One thing
I took away
I
an entire star for bad formatting, and why do you have to be a bad greatest hits of yourself?
Leroy, continue.
I see. The one thing I would want to take out of too is the super kick circle. What in the hell was the point of that?
Who told these guys that their finishing maneuver when they turned heel needed to be some of the worst, knees I've ever seen in my life?
Watching them kick each other and give her super kicks, like one would kick one would kick the other. And nobody really sold any of that shit at all. I'm like,
people have to understand.
What is
Shawn
the
Michaels
point?
is not responsible for the bad side of Indies wrestling.
No.
But Shawn has to eat a little bit of it, but he's not responsible for the super kick being a problem because remember, when Shawn did it, it was protected.
Done.
Nobody jumped up after Sweet Chin Music. That's why I don't consider it a super kick. It's in another realm. It's a different thing.
Even with Stevie, it was also protected.
That face kick, whatever. I mean, that was done. I mean, a lot of stuff towards the end was hokey. I wasn't really impressed the way they ended it because he jumped off.
Yeah.
And I listened to Jim, and then I had to watch it again to make sure. Yeah, he jumped off. He took everybody out.
Yep.
But then the Lucha Brother jumped up right after that.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
when
what?
Matt and Jeff Hardy are the kings of, okay, Matt's going to set these two guys up in a tag match, and Jeff's going to jump on them. But Matt's going to take a beating for it. They are the masters. The Dudleys were good.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian were okay at this. I feel like Edge and Christian never really understood that whoever takes the brunt of holding the guys has to sell a little more. They weren't great at it, but they were okay at it.
But I was not happy with that.
Because they were better mat wrestlers.
Yes, but Matt and Jeff are the kings of selling that I'm going to take a licking for what my brother's about to do. I'm going to have to sell that I'm hurt. Right. That, again, the Bucks don't understand what... And Jesse, I'll go back to their days in PWG. If they could understand or even agree to the art of selling, maybe they'd be that great tag team they think they are. Because the biggest thing missing out of them is boys, you're not Ultimate Warrior. You're not Andre the Giant. Shit's gonna hurt you because guess what? You're fucking 5'8". You might be 5'10". But anyway, Leroy, do you have anything else to say? Because Jesse's about to kill a propel water bottle if you don't stop.
I'm very happy.
He's been through 2 in just a segment.
I am happy that they won, but like you said, I give it a 3.5. I give it a 3.5. Okay. But
Why am I the one
Why-
who's actually being mad? I'm apparently more
You're being
complimentary.
very complimentary.
I am,
But you
very
know,
much
you
so.
enjoyed it.
Yes.
I have no problem.
It's the young sucks, but why?
Before we get to Jesse,
but
one
why?
more time.
But why did the Lucha Brothers? I do that same question you do.
Yeah.
Why did the Lucha Brothers get the title?
Now, hold on.
Why?
Jesse. One more time.
Makes no sense.
One more time. It is worth mentioning. You got me to tear up for the first time when those three young ladies got to go out there and just be a part
And
of their
live up
dad's
to- yes.
moment
Yeah.
because
That's
this was
very nice,
American.
yes.
This might be the biggest moment in America that Penta El
Oh, yeah.
Cerro or Pentagon Jr. has ever had.
Because it's in front of a lot more people than Impact can produce.
Yes, exactly. Yes, but no, those girls, your daddy. You should be very proud of him.
Oh, yeah.
You should be proud of your uncle.
Oh, yes.
Because I believe all three are Penta's
Yes,
daughters.
they're all,
yes.
all his
Yes.
kids.
Yes, they girls. Your uncle and your father have taken lucha wrestling to a completely different level in the
Yes.
United States. Ray is still the king.
Yes.
but these boys deserve to be at that table.
Correct.
Jesse has now taken off the headset.
Correct.
Leroy, you and I have a quick piss break. Jesse, if you please.
Oh, I gotta take my headphones off.
Yep.
Let me.
Leroy,
I gotta be ready because
the
my
Richter
eardrum
scale might go off for this one.
4 out of 5, Zach.
Yes.
3.75. You said.
3.5.
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
3.5.
I gave it a 2.5.
All right.
You want to know why I gave it a 2.5? Because the Young Bucks are literally the worst thing in professional wrestling. They can't help themselves. They can never help themselves. What do I say now recently? Everything's a fucking meme to these guys. Everything's a fucking la ha ha ha. Let's get a chuckle at the detriment of great professional wrestling.
The shoe was actually made more egregious by winking at the camera.
Here, let me help you
Yeah,
with the shoe.
yeah.
So the shoe thing they actually came up with in PWG. The first time they did the spot was actually kind of cool because they were going against a hardcore wrestler that used to use tacks. Made fucking sense, right?
Yep.
Hopefully
Right.
it does, yes.
Right.
Didn't make sense against the Lucha Brothers.
Doesn't make sense anywhere fucking else unless you make it make sense in the story.
But Excalibur somehow. But hold on. Again, we're supposed to ignore that tax weren't brought up at all because Excalibur apparently explained.
Let
he
me
used to
make
do it.
something clear. First off, Excalibur needs to stop kissing their asses at every show, on every show.
Wasn't he a part owner of PWG?
Not only that, but he was one of their main announcers and one of their bookers.
So why does he have to kiss their ass?
Because he's a fucking idiot!
All right.
These
That's out of the way.
these guys, this match, up until that halfway point, this was looking like a classic match.
Yes.
And I mean, every credit in the world to the Lucha Brothers, who I've told you before, they're legends.
Oh.
They're great.
Oh God.
And we should, and I mean, every time we see them, we should be happy to see them.
Yes.
And congratulations to them. It's not that they don't deserve this moment, but you know what this moment means to me? That the ranking shouldn't mean shit if you're an AEW fan, because they clearly do not give a shit about. You know, and I gave them credit 5 months ago for building this tag team division.
You did.
That they have constantly shit on since they've been heels. These guys are the fucking worst. And this is how I know Tony Khan is not the end-all be-all booker. Because if you were, you would not let them go out there and do this shit every single pay-per-view. The Young Bucks are the fucking worst. Go ahead and send me the hate mail.
The only positive.
Jesse_Stowe at yahoo.com. I will read it. I hate the Young Bucks.
The only positive thing about this match was that somehow.
The only positive thing was when it was fucking over and they didn't have the titles anymore.
No, hold on. Two things. Hold on.
And the
Two
children.
No, two things.
And the children.
Yeah, two things.
Because Jay loves the kids.
Yes. Two things. Number one, somehow, some way, they were unable to convince Tony Khan that they should go on first.
That was a miracle,
And number
yes.
two.
That was good.
And number two.
I don't know how any wrestler.
They'll have the titles back by the end of the year.
I don't know how any wrestler.
They'll have the titles back by the end of the year.
Goes
Yeah.
to AEW, listens to the Young Bucks, and thinks, man, you know what? They have my best interests at heart. Get them drug tested. Get them drug tested. These guys would rather go have a fucking yuck and get paid $1 million than tell a cohesive story. They would rather go out and just do fucking laughter. You know what? We've actually gotten to a point where I'm finally on Jim Cornette's side. If they were out of pro wrestling, AEW
Mark
might
this
be
down,
the best.
September 12th, 2001.
If
2021.
they left AEW,
It would.
It would be better.
Yeah.
It would be better.
It wouldn't hurt the ratings.
No, it would not.
All it would be is one less segment to hurt Dynamite and Rampage.
You want to know why people always make the joke that this is a T-shirt company? Because of the fucking Young Bucks. That's all they care about. Congratulations, boys. Congratulations. I don't even know how. If Cody's still your friend, I don't know how. Because all you do is you go out and you make a fucking joke of everything. Cody Rhodes got fucking embarrassed by Malachi Black, and they only just recently announced that they're going to do that match at New York, which they should.
Yes.
Because he has stayed off TV, to sell the fact that Malachi almost beat him into retirement. Like, I give Cody credit because he gets it.
Now he came back. Now he came back to America versus Britain. What's he going to come back to now?
He is friends with these two clowns. Clowns.
I won't even give them Carney. I won't even give them Carney.
I should have been able to give this a 5.
They're ass clowns.
I should have been able to give this a 5. First, speaking of ass clowns, Chris Jericho, you better never tell me again.
Hold on.
That
we'll
these
get
guys
to
are the
it.
greatest.
We're not talking about the king of ass clowns.
That these guys are the greatest tag team ever. Okay, you know what? If they're
Self-proclaimed
fans that want to say that about them, you know what? You go ahead and you live in that imaginary world where the Young Bucks
I hate to
are
say
the greatest thing ever.
The last time that a team self-proclaimed themselves the world's greatest tag team was Sheldon Benjamin and Charlie Haas.
And they actually might have been at the time.
On pure wrestling ability,
Yes.
they may have
They
been.
were damn good.
On pure wrestling ability, they may have been.
These guys treat wrestling as a joke. I'm finally on Jim's side, so I'm going to treat them as a fucking joke from now on.
Yep.
Every match for me gets a 0 rating from them, and they actually have to build it. That's where I'm at with the Young Bucks.
I do agree with that.
If you are a PWG fan, which I know there's a lot that actually feel this way about them now, you have to be fucking disgusted.
The majority of the guys you used to run with, I guarantee that all of you probably feel the same way that I did when I walked out of that ROH show as many years ago as I did right now. Look, the veil of the Young Bucks, they got rid of it themselves. They have no one to blame but themselves. Because they have... Okay, by the way, I'm not even joking.
Also, FTR, do you finally regret your fucking signing?
They probably do.
You'd be champions in WWE
well,
right now.
Well, the shitty ring hurt one of them. He's been out for like half a year now.
And by the way, you lost to them. You've barely been featured on TV. And you and LAX have been mistreated ever since.
But again, let me get to the point here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why, and let me just start the goddamn list. FTR, the Briscoes, fucking Contra, anyone from Contra, any tag team from LAX, the Jungle Boy, Jurassic, they will not work with a good tag team because they will be outclassed. CM Punk said, and I quote, I don't want to... when's this come out? Oh, Saturday? Okay. I don't want to, spoiler for the pay-per-view, but if it was CM Punk and the American Dragon as a tag team versus the Young Bucks, I think people will want to see that. The Bucks will never let it happen because the first 5 minutes they'll be outclassed and be laughed out the goddamn building.
Yes.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that after the show because we have to. But anyway,
I only even gave it a 2 because those two fucking legends were trying their best. And they always do try to work with them very well.
The moment when Pentagon saved Phoenix, the minute that he jumped in front of his brother, and I got to see the man who in Lucha Underground sadly was written as maybe too much of a badass. Yeah. Maybe a little too far.
A little too far.
A guy who got... The moment with the daughters was so beautiful because of that moment in the ring. Saving He's the older brother, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he is.
Sorry, Penta is the older brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The older brother saving the little brother. That spot was great, but I want the Bucks to be so far away from the tag team title picture
I
for
want
3
the
months.
Bucks to go the fuck away. They officially have Xbox seat with me. Go away. I'm happy you don't have the titles anymore. Go back to Rancho Cuca, what the fuck ever.
But they've been
and take Brandon Cuckler with you. Even though he's been entertaining, take that piece of crap with you because he lied to us.
Hold on. That lying piece of crap.
Yes. Like,
Brandon Cutler's pants are not on fire. They're singed. They're ashes at this point. They're blacker than Jesse's hair.
Yes, they are. I am done.
His hair looks a lot better.
Yeah, that's true.
we will go to an AEW show.
And you will boo them out the building.
I will be the loudest boo you hear in that damn screen. Especially if it's a Dynamite. I'm going to boo so hard.
See, this is why I want to get someone that we know locally on
Yeah,
on
that's
the
where
show.
I'm at with these guys.
Because here's why. Everybody said after, especially in the discussion DPW lounge, they were like, this is the match that has made the Young Bucks. And I'm and I was just like,
I don't mean to laugh at your opinions because I get people are going to feel differently.
Yes.
But I don't know how you watch this team and you don't see a clown show.
You know what was real funny? If you noticed, I don't know, Darren posted it. There was 2 signs in there
yep.
that said, "Signed Darren Corbin."
Yes, there were.
They should.
They should.
They should.
But unfortunately, they put him on Dynamite and you wouldn't hear him talk.
I also hate
mean,
to say it. I also hate to say it. Within one show, Darren would outclass everyone but the main event scene and even half the main event scene. They wouldn't allow Darren back on that show.
Let me tell you something. They couldn't have Darren Corbin on the show because Darren Corbin's way better than the Bucks will ever be.
Yeah.
And so the moment their fans realize
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
they're going to be like, oh, yeah, back to fucking dark with you. You're about to lose a ton of matches, which I'm sure Darren would do the job because Darren's a fucking professional.
Yep.
Unlike them.
Nope.
Yeah.
Can we move on to the next match?
Okay.
So then we move on to the women's.
I can't
The
stand.
Casino
I can't
Boy
stand
Row.
the Young Bucks more than I can't stand the damn New York Knicks owner. You know how piece of shit you have to be for me to feel that way about you.
They're also very Republican.
Oh, fuck. Jesus.
They're very
Christ.
conservative.
You know what? Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. I was wondering why I finally see the clown show. Jim Cornette, I apologize.
Who is not
to you,
Republican,
sir.
even though he's from the South, by the way.
Jim Cornette, I'm going to send this video to him at 2 hours and 24 minutes. Sir, I am sorry. If you've ever listened to the other shows, you have been right this whole time. Sir, I am sorry. The next time I see you, I will buy you the biggest steak I can find.
Yep.
He's on Twitter. You could send him a message.
Yeah, you
on
could.
Twitter.
I'm going to.
Through our Twitter. Yeah,
Jim,
get our,
I am sorry,
through
sir.
our Twitter account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, also, now we move on to the Women's Casino Battle
They
Royal.
would make me sterile in bed if I have to watch another Young Bucks match. Like, I couldn't perform sexually.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
We get help for you if that happens.
Jesse,
But all right.
Jesse. Okay, in fairness,
Yes.
from here on out, we will now implement that when it comes to an AEW show, I will be the only one who has to watch a Young Bucks match, and then I will describe it to you, and you will go off with my explanation.
I will watch it. You want to know why? Because while I am truly actually upset, it will actually give our fans something to laugh about.
Yes.
Because they're going to be like, oh my God, he's going to go in so hard.
Yep.
And I can't wait to
Yep.
hear it. As a matter of fact, tonight I'm going to send a message to the Young Bucks that we are fans of this and they should definitely listen to this review.
Yes.
Now, please
yes.
go on to the next match,
Now we
fellas.
move on to a match that should have been before the women's title match, but hey, whatever. The formatting makes no sense.
Kenny Omega's an idiot, but we'll get to that later.
The Casino Battle Royal, it was very uneventful. No one really had a Pat Patterson moment. This is where Pat Patterson was the genius of the Battle Royals.
I mean, I think they said he basically is kind of like the matriarch of the Royal Rumble.
He is,
Yes, he is,
But here's
yeah.
the deal. Here's the deal. Nobody really had a moment. They all kind of
Not
came
really.
in together. It was very. This was more clunky than the 10-man,
Oh yeah.
and that's
yes.
that was hard to do.
I don't know. It's so weird because the women's division, talent-wise,
It's getting better.
is getting a lot better, including some of their own women.
Including the debut of the person that Leroy said was going to win, TBA, Ruby Soho.
Yes, you did.
What a
Great call on
debut.
that.
It should have been at the New York
Yes.
Arthur Ashe show just
Yeah.
because of the gimmick.
Yeah.
But look, this is where I will say, WWE, you had this woman.
Yeah, this is another one where they dropped the ball.
You dropped the ball.
I should have put
I'll
money
be honest,
down
I'll
on
be
that.
honest,
You should have.
I'll be honest.
That would have made good money.
With the professionalism of that company, I don't think they would have gotten Ruby
No,
Riott.
probably not.
She was out of place for reasons. Nothing against it, but she,
It's so weird because
But by the way, I will say this one, but it was meh because it was
Yeah.
obvious she was going to be the Joker. But the problem is there was really no. How do I put this? There was no oomph Yes, yes, she got a loud pop, but the problem is that this is the problem with just this is where they don't get how to debut someone. The music, it worked with Minoru Suzuki, but the music played and then she was right on the stage. You have to give people time. This is where the indie style of booking bothers me. It's go, 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 no sell, go, go. People cannot fathom what's happening. Nobody understood till halfway down the ramp who she was because you didn't let it fucking settle.
You know what, though?
Also, I hate to say this, the ending, while I'm happy Ruby is finally being featured, I wrote this down. I'll let you both see it so that everyone can understand.
Well, yeah.
This is the end of the match for me. So fuck the AEW women's locker room, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
She shows up. I hate to say it, Penelope Ford at least deserved more to go over in this match, even though she's awful.
That's actually very true.
At least been there.
She's trying to do better. And like that's all you can ask of a professional
But
wrestler.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, Ruby Soho, and I love Ruby, was not deserving of this moment. Not right away.
By the way,
I don't agree with that decision.
By the way, this is why being happy-go-lucky all the time doesn't always work, and I get that that's just the new generation of wrestlers.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Allie doing anymore?
Oh God.
Allie is one of the best women's wrestlers on the fucking planet.
Her run in Impact was the best thing since Gail Kim was there.
Yes.
In terms of pure babyface.
Especially her babyface run.
Yeah.
And she's come here like I had no problem with the original teaming up her with her boyfriend and his best friend with the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah.
No problem, because they're great wrestlers who deserves when they got
the
brought
Butcher,
in.
the Baker, and the Candlestick Maker.
But it's a tag team that's...
The Bunny, I'm sorry.
Who has been like...
She made my candlestick go up.
They've been so...
no.
They've been so...
You're the old dirty bastard on this show.
It's so weird the word
I'm not
looking
saying
for,
that.
but
Yeah, exactly.
They've deserved this credit for a long time, these two.
Yep.
And yet, you've had a chance to maybe break her away from them and do some stuff. When, yes, I get it. Maybe Brandy should have not been in that position. But teaming her with Brandy wasn't the worst thing, because if you wanted to turn her babyface, Brandy is the perfect person to do it. Because she's actually easy to like when she's not in the ring, and not always on your TV screen.
Yes. Literally always.
Like literally always.
Literally always.
When she was active, always on your damn screen.
Yes.
But what are you doing with her now? Like, what are you doing with her now?
We'll find out.
Nothing.
We'll find out when TNT debuts this reality show.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Hey, you know what they give?
And
I meant
now,
Allie,
you know
not Cody's wife.
Yep.
You know
And
what?
by the way, Abaddon, who has a great showing,
Yes.
who's improved so much, actually a homegrown talent.
Yep.
What are you doing with it?
Yep. So again, I'm happy that Ruby is being featured. This was not how you should have done it. I'm sorry. This is what sets women's. See, everybody wants to act like the Vince is setting wrestling back. No.
He just misuses talent at times.
That's all it is.
That's all that is.
This is setting back the work that you were supposedly doing
Yeah.
to get out of the dark days of Kenny's early booking, when Kenny looked like a total, and I'll say it, you stupid little bitch.
Yeah.
When freaking Nyla Rose comes back and makes Kenny look like a ballless piece of shit in front of what at that point was the only locker room they had of women.
Yeah.
And Kenny just sits there, can't look her in the face, looks down and goes, "Your new women's champion." You looked like the biggest bitch on the planet at that moment. And that was the dark days of this division. And it still ain't great, but it's been getting better.
It's a lot better from where it started.
The bar was not hot.
No.
Well,
But for crying out loud, bring her in.
Yeah, a 5-year-old child could have probably jumped over
Bring
that
her
bar.
in. Let her debut. Give her a moment.
Yeah.
Have her wipe out half of what was remaining in the
Yeah.
field. Give it to somebody that was already there. And then have Ruby Riott, the woman that was kept down for 4 to 5 fucking years, have her build the punk ass mentality of give me my damn shot. Don't just hand it to her.
Right.
You are missing. She's a moneymaker.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
She's
She
an
is.
actual ticket-selling, put an ass every 18
Yes.
inches woman in this business.
Yes, she
and
is.
I'll admit it, WWE screwed up.
Yes, they did.
But hey, but you know what? It's like being a GM in sports. You're allowed a couple of swings and
Yeah.
misses. You're allowed that and still get your job.
Yeah.
But here's the freaking deal. It actually hurts her more than it helps her, because I hate to say it, she's going to get to that main event scene, and her and Britt are going to have knockdown, drag-out matches. But it's going to bury the rest of this division.
Mm-hmm.
She needed to come in and be a part. where CM Punk comes in and is not part of the locker room, he's a separate entity. She needed to come in and be one of the girls. She needed to be, because that's her goddamn, I don't want to use the word gimmick. That's her goddamn personality.
Yeah.
She needed to be one of the girls and then separate herself by doing everything that punk rock has always done, which is fight. Jesse's in that world.
Yeah.
Jesse, Green Day had to fight and crawl for everything they got in the mainstream because punk music was never supposed to make it to where Green Day got to. Green Day's not even really considered punk that much anymore because they were so freaking successful.
Yeah. That got 3 stars. I know. I was pushing it there.
I'll give it a 3 for the date, but okay, it got 3 for the debut. That's the only reason why.
I gave it a 2.5 because, unfortunately, Zach, you're 1,000% correct. Because, well, first of all, it's telegraphed that she was going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, it was telegraphed that she was going to probably end up being the Joker. And then, like, you had a chance to start building some of your other women.
I agree with making her the Joker, because if you had just thrown her in the middle of one of those other sets, it would have been the dumbest move of the night.
Yeah.
There were a lot of dumb moves on this show.
and listen, the women worked the match great. By the way, this is another reason why I gave it a 2.5. It's okay to do this Royal Rumble style and not call it the Royal Rumble. Like, there's no Vince cannot sue you for doing like single entrances to a battle royal, because people have been doing battle royals like that for years.
Yes,
you just can't call it the Royal Rumble. That's it. Like, that's it. The whole thing of like, oh, we're gonna just bring them in groups is weird. So once again, they're doing something that New Japan did, and they're doing it in such a bad way that it doesn't help anybody. But also the fact New Japan stopped doing it.
Yeah,
like, New Japan stopped doing this because it doesn't make sense. Like, if you're going to do this, just do it single people, because people then get their pops and get to come in.
Yep.
You know, doing the Royal Rumble stuff, there's nothing wrong with it. I get it. You just can't call it the Royal Rumble. And that's cool.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, man, I love the ladies of AEW because they are busting their asses. They go out there every time they're given a chance, and they really do try to put on great matches, notwithstanding what happened with Red Velvet and Jamie, who, like I try to tell Aaron and PWL, those two women just have no goddamn chemistry. That's all that is, because I've watched Red Velvet do other matches, and she's actually not that bad.
I still don't want her to get away with what happened.
No.
Because she needs to learn from that for the rest of her
I hope
career.
she never does it again.
Hopefully not. Oh, my God.
Shnikes. Anyway, the next match.
Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ugliest of the ugly, and I will say it at the top, and I will defend it when we finish.
MJF.
Hold on. I will say it at the top, and I will defend it when we're done. This is not the worst, so don't quote me on that. This is top 5 most egregious burial of a young, great talent in the history of professional wrestling. End of conversation. Now, these are my notes.
I agree.
MJF versus Jericho. What? Why are you kidding me? That's all I got. That's all I got. This was a real wrestling match in the middle of a card that is not known for that. So the match overall was okay, but I know Dusty did it. And I know that sadly Cody wants to have this be Dusty's greatest hits at times. A second referee who wasn't the referee in charge just runs down, was apparently doing his job, which isn't breaking up the 10,000 chainsaw fights they got going on in this goddamn company. But people get mutilated, the referees stay in the back. But apparently, Jake Hager and frickin' Wardlow come down, and there's 8 referees on them before they even get into fisticuffs. This happened.
Yeah, no, I know.
This happened.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But for Christ's sake, they had me. They had it. Jericho had the prime excuse to get his heat back on Dynamite, not the same fucking show.
Yep.
I said, and I quote, so MJF is apparently the GOAT, and not the greatest of all time, but the GOAT of Fenway. He's the GOAT. He's the loser in all this. He's 1-3.
Right.
But then fucking Allison, God bless that woman, comes to me and goes, you technically are wrong. And I'm like, why? She goes, it was 5 matches. It was officially 5 fucking matches in this goddamn fucking set.
Yeah.
Because this was 2. The restart's a second match.
Damn.
5 matches, and it wasn't 2-2, and then we got a rubber match. It was you lost 4 fucking times.
First of all, tell your lady I love her for being so like she sees these things before we even think about them.
I love that woman. I really do.
It's
I love that bitch.
I think it's a woman thing.
I wouldn't even have thought about that.
No.
Yeah.
No, I never.
I didn't think about it until she said it. I was like, oh shit, you're right.
It is.
Wow. You know what? You know.
And it wasn't a best of 5. It wasn't 2-2 and then the 1. It wasn't the 5 labors of Jericho. It was
The 7 labors of Jericho. At
this
point.
segment. Okay, this goddamn thing took 5 matches between them. It involved over 20 other talents. It involved 5 matches that nobody gave a shit about. It involved Nick Gage getting the only real payday he's ever had and getting exposed on national TV. It was not a match for him because it wasn't another deathmatch guy. Jericho tried.
Oh no! I was
this
happy.
was the worst Nick has looked.
I was happy that he got his shine, but I was like, dude, he does not need to be in a regular wrestling match.
No, he shouldn't.
That is not what he does.
It also sadly took the legend of Juventud Guerrera and shit on it.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible.
I still blame that on Jericho. You can't just assume that because you guys had chemistry 20 years ago.
20 fucking years ago.
You were going to have chemistry again.
20 years ago.
Like, go out there
Larry Bird and Magic Johnson after 20 years would have to find a way to get their rhythms back. Okay. So do you two motherfuckers.
All right. It's 3.75.
Oh, fuck that.
That's what Dave gave it.
It deserved a 1, and that was because MJF can sell. It deserved a 1 because MJF can make me believe in him. But are you Jesse,
you know what I just thought about?
I'd give it a 2.
The referee's decision is final, not in AEW.
You know what I just thought about?
Yep.
What I just thought about, you know how, with WWE, people like to complain about too many DQs and all that.
Yeah.
At least with the DQs, it's over after that.
Yep.
Well, as
far as that night, it's over. Like, it's accepted that the DQ happened, whatever, it pisses you off. Having a second match made no fucking sense.
I said, what? Why are you kidding me? Those are my notes.
You know what? I originally actually gave this a 3. I changed my mind. Now, I'm not changing my overall score of the show. You want to know why? Because it's how you leave them. So I still have to give them a lot of credit for that.
I agree.
But
I give him a 2 on this one.
I gave him a 1.
This gives a .5 because now that she pointed that out, that is unforgivable. You literally had 2. You had 2-1 matches in this thing.
1-4, and Jericho apparently got all of his heat back. 1-4, and Jericho is the winner of everything.
And now
1-4.
According to what happened on Dynamite, MJF is moving on.
He should have moved on after the 1.
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
Hold on.
Not ready for the next one?
No.
Okay,
I ain't done with this shit.
All right.
You had War Games first.
Unfucking forgivable.
You had another Labor of Jericho on first.
Stupid.
You had singles matches be the last thing these two did?
Super stupid.
What?
You
had Stadium Stampede.
You know what?
Wait, hold on. Stadium Stampede was first? Stampede? Second.
Yeah.
Second or third.
And by the way, that was to get a win back from the previous Stadium Stampede.
You know what,
that didn't even include the fucking Pinnacle.
You know who you can't blame? Even though he'll tell you he's the main booker, but I know he's full of shit. You actually can't blame Tony Khan because I don't believe.
I guarantee you, Jericho sold this to MJF all goddamn day.
Not only to MJF but to Tony Khan.
Yep, all goddamn day.
Chris Jericho. There's a reason Vince McMahon says no sometimes.
That is true. I do agree.
Now that she pointed it out, that's unforgivable in a wrestling show.
You were at a 3 out of 5 at 4 matches.
Yeah.
You took off 2.5 points for 1 extra match because it was 2 in 1 goddamn night.
Like, now that she pointed that out, I was like, oh no, this does not even get a 3 anymore. This is a .5. This can't happen.
They didn't even make this the quote-unquote rubber match.
I gotta start watching pay-per-views with her because when she points out things like that, I'm gonna be like, wait a fucking minute.
It's from a woman's perspective.
Well,
It's a little different
she's
than
a
ours.
fan that is. She's a wrestling
A
fan.
little more casual than we
That's
are.
casual.
Yes, casual wrestling.
So
fan.
when a casual fan points out,
minus Becky, Finn, and Sonya Deville, it'll be and Sheamus. She loves Sheamus's look with the brawler gimmick. She loves it.
But
Dennis can't do anything with that.
And I must. She'll be mad if I don't say this.
and maybe this is where Vince kind of gets himself in trouble.
And Nick Aldis. Anyway.
Oh,
Where
yes.
Vince gets himself in trouble because he thinks about her more than she thinks about the fan. Like
I agree.
and that's okay. That's how he likes it. That's how he's built a $1 billion empire.
Yes.
But
He's worth. I think the last Forbes he was 1.8 billion.
yeah. But here's the thing:
It's pretty good.
when she
Kinda
points
love
something
that.
out, and you think about it from her perspective as like a hardcore junkie like us of the wrestling business, you go,
You can't ignore it.
you're like, oh man, that makes it fucking worse.
You can't. But this is my point. You can't ignore
Yeah.
the blatant fact of the matter that this was 5 matches that one guy won the first 4, not the last 3, the first fucking 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3. 4.
4. Yep.
4 matches that included over 20 other superstars, that included 2 years of backstory, that ended with a second referee overstepping his boundary as not the match. And if you had assigned a second referee to the
I
ringside,
get it then.
then we have no choice but to
Yes.
accept it. But you literally shit on the oldest wrestling rule there is. The referee's word is final.
Correct. Unless
You
he was like a
shit on this.
unless he was a paid heel one. Once again, that little caveats. If you throw
Or
that
unless
in
you
there,
have an Eric Bischoff who is willing to stricken it from the record because
Yeah.
it was a meaningless win on fucking Raw.
correct. So it's
Which Eric did multiple times.
for Triple H, but it's one of those things where like, now that she pointed that out, that is unforgivable. Like if you saw that at an indie show, you would almost go up to the promoter like, "Wait, why did you guys do that?"
Yep.
Like that. You almost had the fans.
by
boo you.
the way, I love you, Eric. I love you. You are my brother. Your mother is one of the sweetest women on this
Yes,
planet.
she is.
You would never have done this in Heavion, in DPW. Name the company Eric would have worked for. You would have never accepted this.
No.
So why are you saying that this was a great moment for MJF and Jericho? Why would you?
Yeah.
You would never do this, ever.
Yeah, I read he said that, and now that I think about it, now that you told me what Allison said,
Yeah.
there's no way in hell because he knows that almost kills your show. Yeah, like, he knows this.
It does.
Eric, while he's sometimes he doesn't believe he's good at this, he's fucking excellent at
Yes,
this.
I love the boy.
There's no way he allows that to happen at a DPW show.
4 matches in a row. I'm trying not to swear because the children are currently
I
here
know, and
getting
I'm
a kiwi
sorry.
cut up for her,
By the
and
way,
he's in the fridge.
That was excellent.
The Oreo was great, sweetie. Thank you for that.
They loved it, yeah.
We super
It was
appreciate
She knows
that.
how to cook. She's
But I
learning
mean-
from her dad.
But I mean, Jesse. Okay, but Jesse. Again, what, why, where, when, how? What was the point of?
It now that we know that it was 2 matches in one,
Yeah.
you're right. This is a burial in
Because
MJF.
remember, people. No. Just because the wording is this match has been restarted, it's 2 separate matches. It's still the result plus a restart.
By the way, because that ref wasn't a heel ref or anything like that, so it wasn't something.
wasn't it Aubrey?
I think so.
That was the initial one
I think
that
Aubrey
started it.
yeah, but
Aubrey
I
was the
think-
first one.
Yeah,
So
Aubrey-
now you shot her credibility when she was losing anyway.
Sorry. She doesn't have any anymore.
Nice.
They killed that a year in.
But it just. And by the way, this went on, and I hate to say it, this made me fast forward the return of CM Punk. I did
Wow.
because here's the deal. I knew this match couldn't be bad. I knew this match was going to be good. And when I went back and watched it after a couple of days, yes, it was up for a couple of days.
Yes, it
you
was.
idiots over at AEW. I rewatched it and I realized the tributes to the Dynamite or to the 1-2-3 Kid and Bret Hart, the tributes to the guys they had in the past. It was great. It was good. I loved it, and we'll get to it in a second because it was phenomenal. But this killed it for me the first time I watched it because I was just like, Jesse, name 5 worse burials of a great young up and coming talent that has ever happened in this business. And I'm going all the way back to the Great Depression days. Name 5 worse.
Man, I'm really thinking about it.
You can't because there were 5 matches in this thing.
Yeah.
Worse.
Triple H never buried someone like this.
I mean,
No.
Not for 5 matches.
No, he did not.
Even though the way they tried to tell the Booker T story, it almost felt like they did. But no, not worse than this. Because at least Booker T still had the WrestleMania match.
Not only that, but Booker always said, my real life definitely told the best story. That was kind of poking at Booker's life. But Booker's his own man. That's why he was on the Cruise of Jericho. Booker would have never done that if he wasn't okay with it.
No, yeah.
Booker's never been the good soldier of I'll do whatever you want, Mr. McMahon.
I mean, some people would say Ricochet, but I'm like, well, not really, because Ricochet he got destroyed by Brock.
But who doesn't?
But if you get the chance to get into a match with Brock Lesnar and you even get a minute of offense,
Now hold on. I said
true.
this,
That
I
is
think
true.
last week, Jesse, or maybe it was a couple weeks. No, I said this.
And he's a former United States champion.
Well, but Jesse, I said this back when we were reviewing the Nick Aldis versus Stephen Bonner match.
Mm-hmm.
If something goes wrong with Brock, which I know it's incredibly difficult, knock on wood, that match was advertised as an official WWE title match.
Correct.
So technically, if Ricochet goes over because Brock can't physically move and you're live in Saudi, Ricochet pulls off the upset of the gods.
Yes, and
it counts.
And that's a story
Yep.
you can build off.
Yes.
Of. So here's the
Oh,
thing.
definitely.
Before we move on,
To the
I got on the
To a
Young
better
Bucks
match.
earlier,
yep.
and now that I'm thinking about everything you just told me, what Allison said,
Mhm.
I now wish MJF would have retired Chris Jericho. It's time.
Yeah.
But hold on. This is what also took me out of it, and Allison pointed this out, that the wording didn't make sense. If I don't win, I'm gonna retire, but not really, because I'm not gonna use the word retire. I'm just no longer going to wrestle in this company, but I'm still under contract, so I'm just gonna work 1 goddamn night a week instead of 2, and all I'm gonna be used for is yelling on Rampage. Chris Jericho was never gonna retire and go home. He was just gonna not wrestle in AEW. Which, by the way, if Roman had lost to Cena, then we all would have sat there and said, well, Roman's going to go make a movie or something, because that's what Rock used to do. That's what everyone else does.
Yeah.
What the hell was Chris Jericho going to do if he had lost, but go 15 goddamn feet to the announce table and be a part of a 4-man crew where it's technically a 3-man crew?
I'll tell you what he would have did
Because it's
outside.
3 commentators and Chris Jericho yelling.
I'll tell you what.
Fozzy.
I'm about to say he's going to go play butt rock. That's what he's going to
And
do.
actually, the sad part about it is that band actually has a lot of musical chops. They really do. There's some good
they do.
musicians
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
band.
I mean, listen, I respect that you guys can listen to butt rock. That's all I'll say about it.
Yeah.
Sorry, COVID butt rock.
Sorry.
COVID Delta butt rock.
Okay. Delta COVID butt rock. So
Let's just get to the next match. I don't even
Okay,
want to talk
all right.
about Chris Jericho anymore. I'll be disgusted.
CM Punk time.
ladies and gentlemen, no Leroy, it's clobbering time.
You know what, though? I will give this a 6. I didn't need them to put that video up
Nope.
because I know that match.
I'll hate to say this though. The crowd was not as hyped as I thought they would have. The problem is the cage match really took a lot of people. It took a while to get back.
You
from
know
that
what,
cage
though? To be
match.
fair, what happened previously was probably made them go like, "What is going on here?"
No, they loved it. That's the problem with the AEW audience.
true.
They were into this shit because they're into Jericho does nothing but say good things about us, so he's a real defector. He's the true Benedict Arnold to the British. No, he buried a guy who 2 years ago was the hottest heel in wrestling.
True.
And now he is as lukewarm as a goddamn Twinkie that's been microwaved.
And he's still hated. But I will say this.
He is.
Yes.
He's also now a midwife.
That's fuck him. But I will say this.
He's a midwife.
I don't want to know.
He caused a birth.
That's true.
Oh, no, he's not a midwife because a midwife helps.
He did. He helped the process start. We'll get to it in a second, but he helped the process start.
Apparently, after he cut the promo, she actually went into labor.
Right after the promo.
I did hear it, but no, I would not consider. No.
He would. He put it up.
I will say this.
He considered himself a midwife for
That's
that?
what he put
The
up.
reason
on Twitter.
Oh my God,
AEW
you're
fans
not a
could
fucking
not-
midwife. I know a midwife. He's
I
not
know
one.
you-
Not even
All right,
close.
all right.
Oh my lord.
Enough of a heel doing heel shit and you falling for it. Go ahead, Jesse.
But I will say this. I
Could have
watched
done better.
when I watched this match right after that fucking debacle.
Yeah.
I started to as I'm watching them go, because before I even say what I have to say about the AEW crowd, I went, "Fuck CM Punk." Phillip Brooks, while I may not always like you as a person,
In ring, you got it.
there's a reason I fucking fell in love with you in 2003. Like he got it. He looked at Darby Allin and he said, "Got it. Know how we can tell this story in ring." You know, seeing this how they almost botched this damn build up. Almost.
Oh yeah.
Without CM Punk, this is technically a botched build up.
Yep.
And I'm watching it and I go, son of a bitch. This is I said X-Pac versus Bret Hart, but of course at the time he was the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. You add what Darby can do to by the way, Philip showing that he can still do this at a high level.
Yep.
I literally gave this a 6 out of 5.
Yep.
I'm like this was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like
No,
there
I agree.
there is a reason like
it was a
we
very
all-
good match.
I'm like there's a reason exactly like there's a reason we actually did all love him. Like a part of me sometimes I try, especially with these bigger wrestlers and these bigger wrestling companies.
Yeah.
I try to put who they are as people off to the side because they
Yeah.
are artists.
Yeah.
And because I try to do the same thing with musicians
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
unless
yeah.
it's really bad.
Mhm.
He's fucking excellent at this.
He gets
just
it.
Is.
The problem is, this was out of place on an AEW show.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? We're getting a little long here on the show, but hey, it's one of those special shows where there's a special thing. Here's the deal. We're going to talk about at the end that they've kind of backed themselves into a corner now, but this is a match that I have a funny feeling you're going to see a lot more of. And the indie style matches that the Bucks are used to are going to start to be less and less.
Mhm.
And I don't know what's going to happen first. Either the AEW fans are going to see through the Bucks, or the Bucks are going to make sure that never happens. I don't know what's coming first, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
There was a 3.75. Dave gave that one.
Dave, you
why?
Dave, but Dave, this was your chance.
Wait.
This is AEW.
You gave this a 3.75?
He did.
Yeah. He gave the last. He gave
Hold on.
He
Hold
gave the last two matches the
Yeah.
same.
I don't understand. They were the best 2 matches on the card. Before we get to the main event, to be fair to that stupid idiot, he actually and maybe that's because he's working with such a legend in the ring in Christian Cage. Though I do agree with Larson from Steven Larson. Steve, I don't know why he's not in your Hall of Fame. The guy's in-ring work speaks for itself for Christian Cage. He's phenomenal.
Before the main
He
event.
gave a higher rating for
Before
that
the
one.
main event,
Oh.
once again a formatting issue. The match that should have gone on after the cage match to be a palate cleanser was Paul White versus QT Marshall. I also put why.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Who cared when
We forgot about that
when
one.
Solo got in the ring?
I did what AEW fans did during this match. I went and took a dump.
Yeah.
So I actually forgot it was on there.
Aaron Solo should have been the ending, but no, they had to keep going. It was 6 minutes before your main event on your biggest pay-per-view.
To be fair, though, when you're holding your poop for a while, it takes about 5.5.
Not you, the match.
Oh, the match! Oh,
6
yeah,
minutes?
yeah.
Oh, with their without their entrances, it was like 3 minutes. I say on here.
It was 6 minutes of TV time.
Yeah. Well,
No one cared about this going into it. QT
Hey.
Marshall is apparently still being used. even
Dude,
though
you are
Cody's
talking
not
to the
here.
wrong person. I went and took a dookie. Like, I didn't even go back and watch the match.
I think Dave took a dookie at that time too.
What did Dave rate
He
it?
gave it a 1.
It didn't deserve to be rated.
I would have gave it a 0.
Nothing against Paul.
0.5.
But all this was.
Actually, I would have gave it a 2. That's a poop joke.
That's a poop joke.
That's a poop joke.
That's a poop joke. But anyway,
we
no,
can do that.
no, it's just when all of his cronies got involved, that should have been the ending. They kept going after the cronies got thrown out. I don't know what that
Wait.
was
Did
about.
Billy Gunn come out after his fucking heel turn? That
No!
no one cared
No.
about?
No, that was even weirder. The Gun Club was nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
What was
People like to
this?
say it about WWE, but let me say it about AEW. This fucking company. What?
And now
Yeah,
And
there was
now
no point in that match either.
we will
so.
get to my notes on the main event before we allow these two gentlemen in, because boy, do
Lord.
I got a lot to say.
Okay, go for it.
Here's the deal. Holy shit, Kenny only gets 20 minutes to perform his art? Because there was only 20 minutes total. I looked at it. There were
Yeah.
20 minutes left in the show. Also, why was the Impact title on this pay-per-view? I get it, Christian's the champ, but why did he bring it? Because Kenny didn't bring the other AAA title. Why was the Impact title brought? It was an eyesore. No offense to Impact, but it didn't belong here. Sadly,
Maybe they should have kept the old TNA title and just rebranded it.
Maybe
sadly,
they were
the
rubbing
Impact
it
title
in.
also was an eyesore because it reminded me, oh, wait, they already had this match on free television. There was the table spot where they broke the table backwards
Yeah, that was odd.
Both of them.
in front of the fucking referee, mind you. Nobody was even distracting the referee.
Yeah.
But apparently, it was okay. The ref can't see it. The Steve Urkel line, why, Kenny? Why do you do this to me? Why do you get in with a serious competition and you just have to wink, wink, nudge, nudge the camera and fucking quote the
Because-
biggest nerd? I love Steve,
Yeah.
but the biggest nerd in the history of television, and you got to quote him not once but twice on this fucking show.
Because, I mean, he's
Because
not as
he's an
bad as the Young Bucks, but he's still there.
I did the count. After the table spot, they did a 25 count outside the ring. This match was never... By the way, they never announced this match as no count out. Was never announced. But I counted 25 seconds from the minute that they left the ring, both of them, not one,
Yeah.
to the moment that Kenny botched, which was funny as
It was
hell,
the funniest
mind you.
Shit.
But the ref didn't... Oh, by the way,
So
No, hold on,
they actually
hold on.
never got back in the ring to break the count.
nope.
No.
25 seconds. No, Jesse,
No.
it gets worse. Do you want to know the minute the referee actually started his count?
You're starting to fuck up my rating for this. Go ahead.
Hold on. Do you want to know the moment that the referee started his 10 count?
No.
It was after the second moonsault.
Wow.
So the only successful one, that's the moment, and I dare any motherfucker to go back and check me on this. Don't at me. That is the only moment that the referee started to actually count, because he said one after the botch. But they were on the fucking anyway.
Yeah.
Dude, in New Japan, you
The
get
table-
20 seconds outside.
The table
Yeah.
spot should have been the ending. It
Yes.
wasn't. It was a decent finish because Christian obviously is not going to let Kenny do 10,000 knee lifts.
No.
Christian is not going to be a part of that.
No.
Christian is a professional.
Yes.
Christian is who he is. And
You're not hitting me with 20 V triggers for no fucking reason.
do we want to get to the placenta or do we want to talk about the match first? Because, Jesse, I supposedly have hurt your rating now that I've given this information.
I actually gave this a 5 out of 5.
Really?
Because I didn't take away from the botch because I'm like, that was just funny.
Yeah.
And I love seeing Kenny fuck up now that he's not in New Japan.
Yeah.
I give it a 4.
But the rules
I
of
have to give it
wrestling
a
were
4
just destroyed.
now.
The rules of wrestling were just destroyed.
I
this
forgave
match.
I
Oh,
forgave
yeah.
the Urkel line because here's the thing. He's going to have a couple of those stupid moments. He's not as bad as those fucking idiots.
That's true.
But he'll do that a couple
Yeah.
times in a match.
Yeah.
I roll my eyes, and I just hope Kenny doesn't do 25 V triggers, which luckily he's in there with a guy who's like, yeah, no, you're not doing that.
That's
to
not
me.
happening.
You're out of your fucking mind.
I am not paid enough for this. And I'm getting paid probably
And I'm getting
seven
paid
figures.
7 figures. So no.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ro. Go ahead.
Well, it was a good match because of Christian. The table spots.
Oh, you could tell Christian was leading other
Oh,
than
yeah.
I know he
other
was.
than the bad table spot.
He's a story-based wrestler.
But
so I always knew this match would be good.
And as Jesse's pointed out on the show many times, he's got the best feet in the
He
business.
might have
He
the
does.
absolute best
He does.
feet in pro wrestling.
But I still don't understand the table spots. There was,
after that,
Why?
first, it should have been over.
that
Um,
first one. Yeah, definitely. But there was no need for either one of them.
Hell, you probably could have protected Christian by just doing a DQ
Also,
finish.
Jim Cornette pointed
Yeah.
it out, and I went back and saw it. Kenny Omega trying to suplex Jericho. No, sorry, Jericho, Christian. They both look the same with the long hair.
Okay.
Trying to suplex Christian.
Let's be fair to Christian.
German suplexed
Christian
off
is
of the
not a
ring apron.
douchebag.
That's true. Christian, here's where the logic wouldn't have made sense just by watching. If you're going to German suplex someone through a table, set it up in the corner or set it up farther away from the ring apron.
Right.
If Kenny had successfully done that move, Christian's ass and his entire body weight would have fallen on Kenny's nose.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean, but he didn't.
Are we ready for the placenta?
He didn't want to listen to Harley Race though, so I'll give it a 4 because I still thought the match was really good.
No.
Yeah, I give it a 4.
The only notes I have were just egregiously there.
That the 25 thing though, that's fucking egregious.
I counted myself.
At least with WWE, they understand they teach the wrestlers. If you're going to be outside that long, people still have to pop in so the ref can technically break his count and restart it. That's how you make that make sense.
It should have been done 3 times throughout the course of this 25.
Well, when he fell trying to do that move, of course you couldn't go back in again. Idiot.
Anyway, so now we get to Kenny and the Bucks and the Good Brothers beat down people. We beat down more faces. And then he says, the only people that could stop me, and I'm paraphrasing, are already dead. Well, that was a dead giveaway, you dumb shit. Then the lights go out, and I pop because of the song.
Yeah.
You know it's all about that boom! And then fucking, you knew it was going to happen. Adam Cole, baby.
Oh, yeah.
And it was good until, and I thought about it before, and this is one of our longer shows we've done, but we got to get through everything. I thought about it before Cornette said it, and then, fucking Christ, after the 5 best years of your career, you go right back to the same shit you were doing in ROH beforehand, and you were with the Bucks, so it's shit.
Yep.
He kicks Jungle Boy, they hug, they kiss, we get a nice little story time, but he's just one of the boys now.
Yeah.
You just brought Adam Cole back, and this is why I'm worried about when Steen goes back. They're just going to recreate Mount Rushmore. So, look, I'm fine with guys wanting to go there for family, for friendship, for money, but do something different. Don't just go back to the same shit you were doing. I swear to God, if Sammy's contract comes up, and by the way, there's reports that it's going to be longer than this fall.
Yeah.
So, but here's the deal. You're just going to come back as El Generico? We can't bring
I
back Generico.
No, we
for
can't go
special
back to it.
occasions.
I don't
Yes.
believe he would go back because he's probably doing some of his best work right now.
I could see Kevin Owens going back.
Kevin, I understand.
Yes.
Kevin's a multiple-time world champion.
Kevin doesn't have much left to do in WWE.
No.
He doesn't.
No.
No.
I mean,
And that's one of the points I want to bring up to you, gentlemen, was if guys have already achieved everything, what's the point in sticking around? Go try a new challenge. I'm okay with people moving. Now, Adam Cole, it's been reported, before we get to the final debut of the night, which I think I actually have down here, was a waste because it was too much. You could have saved it for Dynamite because, once again, and I quote, yo, Russo, you don't do an angle at a pay-per-view, you do it on the fucking live show.
Yep.
But that's what they did. But anyway, if Adam Cole...
But to give them credit, they have him. So while I'm on your side on that,
I get it.
I don't blame them for bringing out the big dick, which is what I call Bryan Danielson because he swings a big dick for such a little guy. But
Brian Danielson, the American
That's why he
Dragon.
got married to
Actually,
her.
he's a bad son of a bitch.
Brian
though.
Danielson, surprisingly, was actually... You know what's funny? Brian Danielson was actually more over than Cole.
I actually
Which is weird because Brian was in WWE before this audience was really created.
Oh, yeah. And
they started screaming yes.
I forgot. By the way, that tells me you all used to watch WWE.
Yep.
AEW fans.
Yep.
That's a WWE chant. Notice he didn't do it.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Just remember that when you're hating on them.
Yep.
But, man, I forgot how awesome the American Dragon was. Oh, fuck. He's a bad motherfucker, bro.
Now, it's been reported. I don't know if you two gentlemen saw what Gene reported, but it's been reported, and I have confirmed it. They tried to license Final Countdown.
I cannot believe they tried.
I saw that.
I give Tony credit.
Do you know why they did?
Yeah, because Europe wanted like
Europe is the band that
Yeah.
exit. They wanted $56,000 a play.
I'd have like kiss my ass.
That's expensive shit.
However, reportedly, they do that because they're over the song. But you would be too if it was 40 years after, and then people only know you for that. Also, let's be honest, these guys probably only play that song every New Year's when some rich guy hires them for an event. They probably don't play it live anymore.
Or somebody is cooking something in the microwave and it's going down
I have
the
a
last
question.
5 seconds.
Who gives a shit about them? I mean, maybe people who, like yourself, grew up in the 80s,
Well,
kind of
Europe-
know them a little bit.
Well, but Europe had a
I
decent
know. I like
run
the
on
song.
the circuit.
Because, I know the song.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about the band.
Yeah.
The rest of the catalog sucks.
It's not that great, no.
Yeah.
They've got hits in
Europe can't be proud that they call themselves Europe. Like they must be like, these bloody wankers. They suck. Why did they name themselves after that country? They suck. I don't know where that accent was going, but
started
I'm
started
not
in London and
sure.
somewhere in the south of France.
somewhere. But I will say this:
Ugh.
I actually get Tony Khan credit. I'm like, I'm not fucking paying you that.
It also was kind of big dick energy to play Flight of the Valkyrie because Vince doesn't own the rights to Flight of the
True.
Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And no great Brian Last. It was not Flight of the Bumblebee. There was a slight miscue when he said Flight of the Bumblebee the first time.
Yeah.
Which is another good song, but it doesn't fit.
No.
Here's the deal.
Though it's a rap version, which I found
Yeah, right.
funny.
but no.
Because you guys just played the song because Vince doesn't own the rights.
Brian
to it.
Danielson was the only guy that I said 100% was going to go back because Brian Danielson is the type of guy, he just wants to wrestle. They're going to give him a lighter schedule. They already have the working relationship with Japan.
Correct.
And Brian is so goddamn good at technical wrestling. He's done the hokey, tokey, stupid PWG, no offense, Jesse, PWG hokey bullshit. But he